We're live on Watch Mixer with episode 455. Boom. I think that's gone. Retweet. Your healthy snacks.
Yeah, this is my healthy coffee right here. It is. I love this stuff. Kona Red.
What you got?
It's the original Hawaiian coffee fruit juice. Kona Red contains nature's best kept secret, Hawaiian coffee fruit. The coffee fruit, yeah, coffee trees, they have fruits on it. So the coffee fruit is the fruit that surrounds the coffee bean. It's the seed of the fruit that we all know and enjoy each morning as coffee. Our Hawaiian coffee fruit is sourced exclusively from Kona, Hawaii. Kona Red contains naturally occurring caffeine and unique nutrients that may help support natural energy, mental clarity, and immunity, rich in antioxidants and enjoy. I love this stuff. I'm addicted to this stuff.
I'm gonna taste.
It's really good. No artificial colors, no added sugars, no artificial preservatives, kosher, soy-free, and low glycemic.
I'm gonna need some of that.
So yeah, basically they just use the fruit that comes off of the coffee tree, because Hawaii's got some really good coffee.
Yeah, I see that.
I've never found it like in the mainland though. So, are you ready?
Mainland. I'm as ready could be.
I'm trying to find this tweet here. Yeah, where did it go?
Retweet it. I posted it on the show Twitter. Should be the last thing posted there.
I see it.
Word. 455. Lots to talk about. More stories than actual news, I think, this week. At least it feels that way. It feels that way. Keep thinking of Sonic songs. Spring Yard Zone, probably one of my faves.
All right. Where did my stuff go?
Where did your stuff
I'm
go?
ready. Let's go.
Sweet. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Episode 455. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the show radio. This is episode 455. I am your host, Andrew.
Hey, guys. I'm Danny.
And this is your source. I can't even talk. Why am I laughing? I'm very giggly. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the show radio. It's episode 455. I'm your host, Andrew.
Hey, guys. I'm Danny.
And this is your source for tech, gaming, and entertainment news. Head over to theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. And check out our past shows while you are there. Tell a friend about the show. The show is on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find shows. Theshowradio.info is the website. Danny, what is going on?
I'm looking at the overlay right now and I realize I updated the wrong file. I will change that later. It's okay. I don't know. I'm really super excited for this new overlay. That's what I'm going to say.
It looks really good. Looks really good. Looks really good. Beautiful, beautiful work there. I'm feeling it.
I like
Dope
it.
stuff.
I like
it a lot.
I like the active background too. I don't know. I just loved everything I did. I was like, I like it. I did have some different changes in scenes. But, nothing. I've just been working on being more consistent with streaming and playing games. I've, decided to give Warframe another go, a nice solid go, because my first initial impressions of it were terrible.
Yeah.
But, I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, Warframe is pretty dope. Like, I played a little bit earlier today. The file that I had to download was like 15 gigs. I'm like, you know what? Let me go back into it again, see what's going on with all the wonderful conversations surrounding a Warframe. So I was really excited to see and play some of the matchmaking features, just dropping you in with other players. So that was really cool. So I'm having some fun with it as well. So yeah, good stuff there.
And then other than that, I don't know. It's been okay. So it feels like forever since we got to talk. Cause last week I wasn't feeling like 100%. I was actually like trying to fight off a cold, and that's why I wasn't feeling great.
That's not the
And
only
I
thing you were
slept.
fighting.
What else was I fighting?
You were fighting me.
Oh, I wasn't fighting you.
Yeah, you were.
I wasn't.
You were like, no, I'm going to. I'm like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. It's a little back and forth.
A little
But
bit. I ended up, getting some rest.
yes, much needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you got your rest, though. That was good.
And now we're
That
here.
was good. Now we're here. 4th of July. What happened with you leading up to 4th of July? What happened? What'd you guys do?
We actually don't celebrate 4th of July on 4th of July. We do it on the 3rd.
Okay.
So my company does a 3rd of July celebration, and it's right alongside the beach. And we just they have like vendors, they have food vendors, they have live entertainment, and you just sit on this beach, and it's really nice. It's a really open space. Um, I know that my son's gotten to that age where it's just not cool to hang out with mom anymore. So I told him, it's like, if you have any friends that you want to invite along, go ahead and see if their parents are okay with it, because since it's not on 4th of July, I don't feel like it was that big of a deal. Like they weren't missing any family time with their own personal families. And sure enough, two of his friends came along, and it's definitely very interesting to have, you know, teenage boys around, but it's hilarious at that same time, because at that age is when they started getting interested in girls, and
Mm.
they were walking on the beach, and there's this other group of girls that were well, as my son put it, they were trying hard. So the girls,
Okay.
the sun was setting, and the girls wanted a group picture. And so they tap shoulders with one of his friends and hand him the phone. They're like, "Oh, can you take our picture of the sun?" And you can see like these girls are just posing so hard with the water washing up behind them, the sunset, and these boys were just laughing and giggling. And it's funny because you would think that they'll try to be smooth, try to be all cool. No, they were just like laughing hysterically like a bunch of little girls. And I'm like, what is so funny right now? And it
Right.
turns out, instead of taking pictures of the girls, they were holding the camera like they were taking pictures, but they flipped the cam and they were taking selfies.
Oh, wow. That's
And they
crazy.
gave the girls back the phones, walked away, and the girls, you see the girls standing there, because I'm watching from the distance because I wanted to see the sunset too. I wasn't trying to be in their business or anything like that. But
That's dirty.
yeah, it was. And the girl, you can see the girls like going through, and then they look up and they're like, "What?" The boys just keep
Wow.
walking. But like that is what was so bizarre, is that the girls were like initially upset, but all of a sudden they were just like super interested in these like five guys that just weren't giving them the time of the day.
Mm.
And they just kept walking, and the girls were just like, "Oh, do you guys want to hang out? Hey, what are you guys doing later? Where are you hanging out?" And the boys were just like, "Nah." And they just kept
Crazy.
walking. And those group of girls found out where our spot was on the beach, and they just like kept passing every 20 to 30 minutes. None of the boys really cared. And
Wow.
they were a group of attractive girls that I would think that a typical 14 to 16-year-old boys would be interested in.
Mm.
Nah. And then I asked my son, I was like, "Oh, like, you guys didn't want to hang out?" I was like, "No, they're trying too hard." Like, interesting. Very, very interesting. That was my
That's
4th of
pretty
July.
crazy.
But the fireworks were beautiful. They were nice. We basically lay out on the beach, literally just lay out. The boys were my son and his friend, one of his friends were really smart. They dug out a nice little hole in the sand so that it was like a recliner for them. It was super comfy. They laid out the blankets and we just watched. It was a nice like 20-minute fireworks show. The fireworks are set off, I want to say roughly like 300 feet away from us.
Mm.
So it's not really that far. So it's literally like overhead. It was just beautiful. And like every year, it's like kind of cloudy, some drizzling rain, which there was rain. They don't allow really umbrellas to be brought on. So you pretty much have to live with being rained on. But every single year, once it comes to like half an hour within fireworks going off, the sky just like opens up, clear skies. You can see the stars. It's nice. And then it's perfect because 4th of July, my son's already fireworked out. He doesn't care to go anywhere. We don't want to deal with the traffic. We don't want to deal with anybody setting off any fireworks around us. And we can just lay back at home and not have to worry.
No, that's good. That's good.
So what'd you guys do?
We stayed home. We didn't want to go anywhere because we knew it would be crazy if we ended up going out anywhere. So we stayed at the house. We watched the fireworks on screen, which is not the same because we didn't do that last year. But this year we're like, we're not just going to chill, make some food, burgers, hot dogs, and all that good stuff. And then we just relaxed at the house and was playing a lot of Destiny, catching up on a couple of things. So that's been pretty fun too.
I think, yeah, I think 4th of July. What did I do 4th of July? I know I streamed. I don't know what I streamed. It was either Warframe or Fortnite. Not 100% sure.
I don't know what point in Warframe you get to ride that skateboard thing, that hovers super skateboard Silver Surfer thing, but I want to do that.
I want that
I
thing
want to
too.
do that. That thing looks so fun.
I want to. I mean, I'm sure it's still quite a bit of ways for me, considering I'm just starting it and just basically restarting it because I played it on PS4 when it first came out, and it was so buggy, it was so laggy, it was unfun. It was really not fun to me play with, and that was like what, almost 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. I decided, you know what? I'll give it another try. I know there's a lot of stuff that came out. TennoCon was like, it happened, just yesterday? I was like, I'll give this a try and see what it is. And I'm glad I did. It's been enjoyable. It's a lot to take in still, but it's such a better experience now for me.
Yeah, so much to do in that game. Like you said, you're just starting out. I think you're further than me. I mean, I'm like literally at the beginning still trying to learn what the weapons are, what the cards are, what damage is considered damage. Like I don't know anything right now as it relates to the game.
I'm still learning it. I just like figured out all the mod things just yesterday.
This is going to be fun. So between that and I guess I definitely want to give it a shot between that and Destiny. Destiny obviously is the bread and butter, but I definitely want to play a little bit more of that and see what's going on with that. But since we've been away from the mic for like a week and a half, a lot has happened, especially with the show. A lot of changes happening. A lot of shows were put out between maybe the last week of June into July kind of thing. CE Week took place, and then PepCom also took place, right? And then last but not least, before this episode 455, we did 454 with Frankie Ward, also known as Get Frank. She's a host. She does a lot of esports stuff. She has her own podcast, and it was a great conversation. And I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. You know, some of the things that you got from that particular episode.
She is a joy to listen to. She definitely is, and I'm so bummed I wasn't able to be there for the interview. July is such a hard year at work, and everything
Mm.
gets bumped up, and everything is crammed for last minute things in June. So I actually ended up missing that. But I I love her personality. Like it just I don't know what it is. I think it's just infectious.
Yeah, he's a good human, man.
It
It's
it is because I was just like smiling, grinning ear to ear, and that just bums me out even more. So I really hope that she comes back.
yeah.
And hopefully this
Well,
time
we'll
we can
find.
get video and everything like that. I would love to have her back on because I would love to have a chat with her and speak with her. So thank you, Frankie, for being on and being a guest, even if it was just with Andrew. Because that, oh my goodness. Yeah, if I'm just like that's another bonus of us going to see the PC gaming show is just I don't know how else I would have heard about her. That's a sad thing I think for me.
Right. Exactly.
And I think is like why didn't I hear about you sooner?
Exactly.
So like the entire world, like it's amazing how small the world can be, but in those aspects when you're like, how didn't I hear about this gem? How did I hear about Frankie a lot sooner? It's just like, hey, the world's a whole lot bigger than what it really seems because you can just meet so many different personalities. But I think with it just hers, it just I don't know what it is. I don't know. And I don't it's like I like that mystery of just not knowing what it is about her personality when she talks and how she's just like so commanding that enjoy.
Yeah, it's one of those things like even listening to the conversation because it was like 3:30 a.m. for me, right?
Mhm.
And I'm having a conversation. I'm like, you know what? I can go another hour, just listening to the different stories and all the different things that she was saying and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? But we agreed to, you know, 1 hour. So I definitely want to honor that and stuff like that. But yeah, she's just very confident and very humble at the same time. And that combination is really dope. And it was
Mhm.
good to just get the opportunity to have that conversation with her. Setting up stuff like that can take time, and sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on how the person wants to, how quick the person wants to make it happen, because that happened pretty quick in terms of setting that up and just figuring out what day was best and what was the time gap. And I wanted to be the one losing the sleep and not her.
Mhm.
Just that's just the way I wanted to do it. So I'm like, okay, so that means I'm not going to bed tonight. And then 2:30 is going to happen. We're going to have the conversation. And then whatever the next day looks like is what the next day looks like, right? Because of that time gap. And I'd rather do it that way to have the conversation for our listeners to enjoy, because that's just where I'm at. And even some of the things that we're doing this week that I'm not necessarily going to touch on yet, because it's going to be a testing ground for a lot of different things. That's going to involve me traveling a little bit more just to do that thing that we talked about briefly. But Frankie was definitely an awesome conversation, and just yeah, just hope to keep tabs and build a relationship there, and we'll see what happens.
Please come back.
Word.
Just for me.
Word. Just for Danny. Just come back just for Danny this time. So yeah, so what else is going on besides that? The thing I don't want to talk about, I had to breathe before I talk about it because it's so frustrating.
You'll do fine.
So frustrating. So there's that thing happening this week, and then there's the car stuff, right?
Your favorite.
Ah!
This is the car experience that everybody wants to have.
This is the car experience that everybody wants to have, apparently. Apparently.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll give the short version leading up to the new problem. How about I do that?
Okay.
So the short version was the O2 sensors needed to be replaced, the spark plugs needed to be replaced, the ignition coils for the car needed to be replaced on the 2003 330xi. That's my car, right? So that's the short version. Leading up to this particular issue. So this issue is a replacement of this unit called the DISA valve, which is attached to the manifold. Now, this piece is held by two Torx 40 screws, okay? So some of the changes I've had to do in the car already showed me that the person who owned it previously did not have the knowledge or the know-how to work on the car, because some things were half done, some things were broken off, screws had to be pulled out with needle nose pliers, and all the different things I had to deal with already in the car. Love the car, want to keep the car as long as I can, let it run, make it run as much as I can, upgrade any parts as much as I can. That is not the issue. The issue is ignorance, lack of knowledge, proper application is costing me more time and now more money. So what I mean by that is this. So the diesel valve went bad. Took the car to BP to find out that the diesel valve was broken. So it just needs the parts in it. Is not doing what it's supposed to do for the car to work the way it's supposed to do, which results into the misfires, which results into the O2 sensors going off and all that other stuff. So in order for me to take out the diesel valve, as I mentioned, it's held by 2 Torx 40 screws, 2 of them. No big deal. Okay, so I take out the entire intake plastic piece, right, to get to the diesel valve. Get to the diesel valve, first Torx screw comes out, no problem. Second Torx screw is stripped. Okay. So now I can't take it out. I've tried penetrating fluid. I've tried WD-40. I've tried all the things that would work. The amount of space that I'm working with is too big. It's too small for my drill. I have to think about what I'm saying so it makes sense. It's too small for my drill. I do not have a smaller drill. I've tried trying to do the drilling bit into that, but I don't have the leverage to do that. So I need either a small drill to do that or tow the car to my tech, which is about 45 minutes away, just to do that. So now what's the point of this whole thing? So let's talk about the whole point. So since the diesel valve goes bad often in this car, the E46, one of the things you could do is take out the diesel valve and repair it with a repair kit, right? But if I'm going to repair it, I'm not going to repair it with plastic for me to have to do it again another 70,000 miles to 100,000 miles. The repair kit that I want to use is from a company called X8R, and they make a repair kit for the 2.5 engine, which is not mine, and the 3.0 engine, which is mine, for the car. That kit is $80 coming from the UK. So now it makes sense now for me to wait. So now I have to play the waiting game. Wait for the money to come in for the X8R repair kit for the diesel valve. Once I get the kit to me, then tow the car to my tech. Okay, then go to the car, wait for him to take out the diesel valve, rebuild the unit there while the car is there, so I can put it back in and put all the stuff back in to figure out what else is going on. So that is the current update. That's the audio version. I think I'm going to do a video version of this too on IGTV, which I'm kind of digging right now. So that's where we're at. The diesel valve is stuck in the car because of one stripped screw, which I can't do anything with right now. The kit is $80, the 3.0 kit for me from X8R. So shout outs to them because I'm considering reaching out to them and seeing, what else they have for my car. And I got to tow the car. I got the AAA stuff, which is fine. So the towing of the car is not the issue. It's just the patience to wait for the stuff and the fact that all this stuff is happening now, and this is a perfect time to drive the car between the summer months, obviously. That's where we're at. I think that's up to date. We're up to date now.
So you're going to your torque screw thing. I don't think that is a tool that is very common in anybody's toolkit whatsoever. And I think maybe it's because you have a BMW. Because I know my Nissan doesn't have any torque screw in it. But I have a torque set. No.
Okay.
But I do have a torque set anyways. I don't know how I did. I think it was a gift from my dad, to be honest.
Right,
And it's one of the things that I don't really need or use, and I just feel like it's not common, and people try to force like Allen wrenches into it and whatever. It's like, oh, I'll just use my tiny little Phillips, and that's where.
And I'm glad you said that, because here's my theory of how it got stripped. Okay. So in order for you to get to the unit, you have to take out the plastic intake box, right? If you don't take out the plastic intake box, then you have to angle in to try to remove the bottom Torx 40. The top one is easy, but you have to angle in to angle the unit out. The unit comes out like a drawer, right? Just like you open and close a drawer. That's the easiest way to take it out. The only way you could do it that way is if you take out the entire plastic box. But the unit itself is $400. The BMW unit is 400. Dorman makes a unit that's 214. Vico makes a unit that's 167. So you have options of getting, the same thing at, different prices. That's a non-BMW part. That's fine. But in order for you to take out the unit, the easiest way to take it out is just taking out the plastic intake piece and then just pulling it out like a drawer after you remove the two screws. But they didn't want to do that. So for easy money, they probably charged $400 for the part, angled out the old one, put in this one, whenever that was done, years ago or however many miles it's been, and then over tightened the bottom one, overcompensating, thinking that it was loose, but it was being tightened because you can't really see because you're at an angle because you didn't want to take out the plastic box. So I think that's what happened, because all the other shabbiness that I had to replace already in the car tells me that the person either didn't care because somebody else was doing the work, or when they got to try to doing the work, they didn't know what they were doing, so they just gave it to somebody else to do. But even then, it was just like really, really bad. So now I'm doing double work because of that now.
Yeah, they kind of figured it's at that moment and like, well, it's not going to be my problem later on. Or
Right,
I'll figure it out when it comes to it later.
right. So, and that's where we are. So now I'm like, okay, because I want the best out of it, right? So I'm going to make sure that it's done right. So whether my daughter gets it or my wife wants to drive it, or, I make it the ultimate project car for me, since I've always wanted a BMW ever since, the 80s and 90s, ever since I've been seeing them and understanding what kind of car it was. So to me, it's a dream project. It has its frustrations, but I mean, I love the car
Hmm.
for what it is and what it represents to me, and just I enjoy it, but it's going to take some work.
It's okay. It'll be done. It's getting done.
Okay, so now we got that
Breathe.
out. I got that out. Whew. I didn't break anything while explaining that. Okay, cool. So that's what's going on with that whole, anything else and preamble stuff before we go?
Nope. Nope.
Nothing else. Okay, so a couple of things in technology. Another thing I definitely want to mention is that once the audio episode goes up, you'll have the notes in the app itself. So you don't have to go to the website for the notes. It's going to be in the app. All the links will be there. If you decide to go to the website, theshowradio.info, you also have that post, which will probably be a little bit later than the actual audio piece itself. So I definitely want to mention that. Technology news, 5 best screenshots for Android. Average Ubuntu install takes about 18 minutes, depending on how fast your machine is. OpenShot video adds new effects. Any comments on those things?
No.
Nothing there. Audio production guide for Linux. If that's your thing, that's definitely my thing. There's some free open source apps that you can actually use on Windows machines there too, from what I understand. So definitely check out that guide. It's a PDF guide. It's an online guide that they're going to make a PDF guide later on. There's also going to be a link in the show notes dealing with download royalty-free music, also transcoding video and media files using VLC. Any comments on that?
Since lately, I think in the last month, the whole music copyrights DMCA things that's been going on. It's mainly been obviously on Twitch, but definitely look into getting some royalty-free music if you don't want your stuff muted, if you don't want to be DMCA'd, anything like that. These just go and check out these 4 sites. I've actually gone and looked at it. You can actually build some really great playlists off of some of them. I know that there's free playlists off of Spotify. That Twitch has available that you can go and look to, and there's many playlists, not even made there, that a lot of websites that will create that for people who just want to include it into their work, especially if you're making like YouTube content. YouTube content, you know, I think everybody likes adding music, even if it's to their intro or anything like that. Just something that sticks out just a little bit more. And that's all I got to say about that.
Word. Word. What else we got? Google Duplex is being tested in the coming weeks. So they're working on that. CE Week stuff, Pepcom stuff. Any comments
Yes,
on that?
tell
I
me,
think I have some
tell
thoughts.
me. Yes, I want to hear
So
because you gotta go, and I've been seeing your pictures and all your posts and everything that you've been doing. I want to know.
yeah. Okay, so things are changing for me, right? The way I'm actually putting stuff out, which I think you've seen a different pattern of behavior for me specifically. I think one of the things that I'm really realizing is trying to take more advantage of the platforms that we have, the Twitters, the Instagrams, et cetera, right? So go to okay, let's say you're somebody working a show. You're working for, Daniela's awesome tech company, right? I show up to you. I'm ready to have a conversation with you based on the things that you're showing at that show that you're showing your stuff at, right? We have the conversation on audio. That was prior to some of the changes that I'm getting ready to make. So we have this conversation on audio. I bring the audio back to the lab. I edit it. I put it out. Before I leave you, I make sure I take a picture. Could be selfie, could be a standard picture of your area, of your booth, wherever you're at, right?
Mhm.
And then from there, we're always going to have this picture in the Internet archives that I was at the show. And how would that make you feel? Okay, so let's kind of like dissect this for a second. I show up, first time meeting you and your company. I talk about you and your company and your stuff. It's a 10-minute conversation that goes out to my listeners, right? Tell them all about the wonderful stuff you're doing. I post a picture of us on social media tagging you and your Twitter profile, the hashtags you usually use on a regular basis, obviously the picture itself, one day. Let's say that's Monday. Tuesday, I post the same picture with natively, right? Originally on Twitter. Then natively, I do the same thing on. Let's just say we had a quick video conversation that somebody recorded. I asked that person to send me that stuff. They send it to me. Wednesday, I post that short video clip of, hey, hanging out with Daniela's big tech company at this particular event. Okay, so how would that stuff make you feel?
I'm not sure. I mean, well, okay. I'm not quite sure about the question. Wouldn't that be feel great? Because not only are you getting out your company that you're working for, but you're also kind of getting out your own personal name.
Okay.
Like, so if somebody, like, if I decided that I wanted to move on from this company and venture out somewhere else, I mean, wouldn't that be great to add in, somehow, like, if somebody Googled my name, you have all these different articles, not only just my LinkedIn, but you have like this history of interviews that you've done with other, news outlets.
Right.
So I would think that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. So the formula now is that's where I really want to make sure I focus because I have to stop. I have to refrain from thinking of just having the conversation, more so documenting the conversation, right? So so yeah, we had this good time. We had this moment where somebody recorded. I asked them to send me the footage. They sent me the footage of us. We posted that on Wednesday. Tuesday we did Instagram. Monday we did Twitter. So now 3 days straight there were pieces of content, pretty much the same context of what we talked about that's out on the internet. So now the moment comes where I'm like, okay, I like your stuff so much. Hey, can we get some samples to have on the show, right? So then I reach out to you. I say, hey, Daniela, my name is Andrew, so-and-so. We had this great conversation at your booth and at this particular event, really appreciate all the stuff that you did. And let's just say, for instance, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you weren't on social media because you were traveling. Let's just say that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll say, here is the links of the things that we posted since the show. Okay. So then I do Mondays, Twitter thing. Tuesdays, Instagram thing. Wednesdays, Tuesdays, yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, because Instagram was twice, because one was text and then one was the picture and then one was the video. Wednesday was the video. So I'll give you all 3 links to those things, okay? Let's just say I add something a little bit extra. I'm like, I was so excited about everything that I saw. I do a 4-minute IGTV video. So we talk about that, whatever I talk about in an IGTV video, I send that to you on Thursday, okay? So now I think I've primed the situation, not you. I've primed the situation where we can begin having different conversations about a whole bunch of other things, including receiving maybe samples of whatever you're showing or showcasing or promoting or marketing at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the consistency of that with the tools that we already have available is something that I need to be more actively working with as a practitioner to document all the things that I'm documenting. So now the other scenario is this. It would have been even better when I first met you that I had the ability to record the video myself. And if it was noisy at this particular conference where we had actual professional microphones, where you had one and I had one and you had a room we can record in, right, separate from the area, so it was less noisy, and I would have captured snippets of that particular conversation and post that on social media depending on the day. Maybe have that conversation on Wednesday and have the Twitter stuff on Monday and still keep the picture stuff on Tuesday. Okay, so I think having a kind of formula that I'm really considering pursuing as it relates to posting those things is how I'm thinking about posting stuff. And I think that's where I was going with that. So CE Week 2018. CE Week was great. I think we recorded like maybe 8 to 12 stuff from CE Week. Almost every booth I captured at CE Week was great. I think I've been to CE Week before. Maybe not necessarily 2017, but maybe 2016. I don't recall going in 2017. Maybe my brain is just fried or something. It was amazing. Learned a lot of how I want to do things, as we just, talked about and brainstormed a little bit. And then going into doing more in-person conversations more often, which is what I'm kind of thinking about right now. And I was tired after the show, but it was a great tired because I knew there was a lot of work done. I mean, at this point, we're at 4:55 now. So I think there was some between E3, landing, CE Week, breathing, and then PepCom right after that. So PepCom was last minute, very, very last decision to the hour, right? Hopped on the train that day. Am I going to go? Am I not going to go? Blah, 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 blah. And then I finally get to go that day. I recorded about five conversations during PepCom. That's always cool. Some new faces from companies that we've worked with in the past, that kind of a thing. And I think, I love doing those things. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, there's a game dev of color thing happening on the weekend of the 14th, if I remember correctly. Same weekend that my uncle's having his barbecue, and I'm debating the expo or the barbecue. I don't know. Maybe neither, depending on how I feel that day. Sometimes, I just want to be by myself. I get like that too because I'm a loner. So I don't know how I want to attack that. But this week is going to be cool because there's something planned for this week. If it happens, you'll be the first one to know. And then we'll go from there. And then we'll post out the different things on social as it relates to what that's going to look like. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the car stuff, especially this X8R company. I definitely want to see what they're doing and what they got going on. And any thoughts on those things?
You need a vacation.
I don't need a vacation.
You need a break. That's a lot to do since like coming back from E3. That is a lot.
Right. I don't need a break. You know what? Okay. Let's explore that a little bit. I don't want a break, right? because it doesn't feel like work to me, right? But at the same time, if I'm still handing out my business card, then I don't need a break.
You need at least a breather for yourself. If like maybe it's not even like a full day, like meditation, some yoga. Just
Nah.
yeah.
It's church on Sunday. I go pretty much every
Okay,
Sunday.
that's okay, yeah, that counts as meditation too.
I get refueled. Pastor preached some great messages today. Helped me out tremendously. So I get my refuel from there. We actually stopped off. Okay, so now I'm thinking about it. We actually stopped off at this Messianic Jews spot near us, which we'll probably check out their Bible studies and stuff like that. Maybe fellowship with them once in a while, depending on what's going on with our ministry and stuff. Cool people. Great. It was great to stop by there. We drive by it all the time. We were like, you know what? Let's stop by today. So we did that. That was cool. So I get my refueling there. And when I'm in the lab, this is where I think about different ways to execute things. And I just put blinders on and not paying attention to what anybody else is doing. And I just keep going.
Still, just it's nice even though it doesn't feel like work. Essentially, it is kind of work, and it is nice to just detox yourself from just electronics in general. And that's what was my takeaway from like 4th of July or 3rd of July is that there's no reception there. There
Right.
wasn't. It was just good conversation. And even if we weren't talking, it was nice to have the music, to hear the ocean, to take a nice deep breath of just fresh air and not have any electronics in and around. I'm like, I took a couple of pictures, but I couldn't post it anywhere. I couldn't share it with anybody. Couldn't even text anyone. So it was nice just to detox in that manner, to not be sitting in front of a screen or having to worry about that stuff. It's good. I mean, it's just as healthy and it's great to just get away from it.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you. But there's just one thing, Danny, just one
What?
thing.
What is that?
The fact that I'm still handing out business cards means that I have a lot of work to do. And see, so that part may never end, right?
Mhm.
So, and that is a great motivator for me to continue creating. And it sounds very, motivational and maybe cliche, but it's true. I'm still handing out business cards. There's some times where I go to events and I don't hand out as many, and that's great. That means there's some groundwork being done there. However it took place, whatever they saw, whatever they listened to, that happened, right? And yeah, that's what I want. It's the it's the climb, right? That
Mm.
is there's an addiction to the climb. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, deep motivational stuff in this episode. There is a an addiction to that, right?
Mm.
To what end, I don't know, right?
Mm.
But I know that there's things that I'm passionate about. I love talking to people, right? That's always been a thing. Once I became quote unquote self-aware of that, right? I love talking to people. I love learning what makes people tick and how, and I have the gift to do that. I know that. So because of those things, I enjoy doing them. So to what end, I don't know, but there's definitely some experiments that I want to do, as I mentioned earlier, which is going to allow me to get in my car and drive some places to capture some conversations, and I'm excited about that.
Okay.
But you're right. You're
Can you at
absolutely
least
right.
can you at least like just step away from electronics and the computer for at least an hour a week?
I can do that. For you, I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that. I can do an hour a week. Where,
See?
okay, so what are we
Just do
including and
those.
excluding? Can you tell me?
Everything. No TV, no music. Just embrace
Can I
the
read?
actual. You can read. Just no
Okay,
electronics.
sweet.
Anything that needs power whatsoever to go to it.
My
So if you're
tablet has books on
no,
it. What?
no,
What? Oh,
no,
we got to
you
talk about that
can't.
too. I got some stuff. I
You
got some stuff to
can't.
share with you.
Okay, I'm just saying no electronics, and I was gonna say too, like no, not even your Kindle.
What do you mean?
Just step away from it and drop it just for one
But my
hour.
my best books are on there. So like,
Well, I
how do you
guess
want
you're
me to
going to
read it?
Barnes and Noble then for that
Oh my
hour.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can do that. I can do an hour.
At
You
least
said
that,
an
just
hour a week.
a week, at least detox from
Okay.
electronics.
I
I'm
can do
trying
that.
to do that for myself, and it's nice and it's refreshing to just embrace what's like physically around you, the people, the things. Just it's nice to just not have that.
I can do that. I can do that. So which leads in right into the next thing. Okay, so um, mobile conversations. What does that look like? I've heard even recently, um, a good buddy. I don't want to put there blast them out like that. She was asking me questions about um, how do you do mobile conversations? What kind of gear you're trying to put together? What does that look like for you? Because she's considering doing more video content. I don't think it's podcasting per se. It didn't sound like it, but she wants to do more video content with either a lavalier type setup or whatever.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, just get a lavalier, plug it into the phone. But it doesn't sound like that is the way that she's trying to go. She's trying to go DSLR uh, with a lavalier setup or something else. So I need more context, more information, stuff like that. So the current mobile setup, the way we have it now is I can use uh, two microphones, right? XLR microphones with the Saramonic audio rig, which we did the little video on that um, not too long ago on Instagram, where wasn't expecting anything from the company at all. Just wanted to put it out there. I did tag them, right, because that's their product or whatever,
Hmm.
and they ended up loving it. Like, oh wow, this is cool, blah blah blah. You know, all this conversation surrounding that particular 40 seconds video. So no expectations. We talked about that in the past. I'm not expecting anything from nobody. No, none of my peers, no companies, no expectations from you guys. Love y'all, but no expectations. So I put this video out, 47 seconds worth of what I thought about the Saramonic audio rig, a single XLR because they have a double one, and they loved it, and that was cool. So I'm using that. With links to be in the show notes. And then the next thing I decided to do, I was like, okay, the Saramonic audio rig is like $35, somewhere around there. Why not see if there's an XLR splitter so I can use two mics? So then I plug the Saramonic into the phone. Then I have the single box, right, for the input, and then split that into two, plug in two mics with that, and then take that on the road wherever. I have a great video camera, so I'm not worried about that. My phone is more than enough because there's individuals out there be like, well, you know, I don't have a DSLR. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with my phone in the next couple of weeks. How about that? And you tell me how bad you need a DSLR. Because if a DSLR is, let's say, you tell me, Daniela, 400, 399, a decent one, right?
Around $500, yeah.
So, okay, so let's go 500. So if you already have a phone, then you already paid a good amount. Let's say you paid a good amount off the phone already, and the phone is like 500. You paid 300 off already. So you have your phone. So you have your video equipment already. If you get an adapter, an audio adapter, that's like 30, $40, you're still under the 500. If you get two microphones that are decent XLRs that work, 4 stars at least on Amazon, let's say they're $40 a piece, you're still under $500. If you get the splitter, which is $10, you're still under $500. So while you're waiting for a DSLR, I'm still creating content. And no one who's watching the content is going to say, well, I wonder if they recorded that with a DSLR. Just a thought there.
It is a huge thought. And I also want to say, hey, Full Metal, thank you for following. Mixer is a very different thing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna segue here just a little bit. So I was watching Full Metal stream. He was playing Warframe. I didn't realize how incredibly short the delay or non-delay on Mixer was. It is just like instantaneous, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It does. It just like, oh my goodness. I can just be in the room with you and just yelling at you right there. It's like it's just crazy. It really is, and I thought that was really cool. So it's very interesting making this switch to Mixer. It is.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. So we'll definitely check it out. Thanks for hanging out with us for sure. But I guess where I'm at, go ahead, finish your thought.
So I don't know. It kind of depends on the people. Like there's some people who obviously if you're tuning in and we are predominantly, yes, we do video, but we're predominantly a podcast. And most podcasts, if not, I feel like lately it's kind of blurring the lines between a video podcast and then an audio. It is. It's blurring right there. Like the two worlds are coming together. But at its core, a podcast is audio. So audio is always going to be our number one thing, as long as it's clear, it's crisp, and video is kind of.
I'm like fighting against that. Is it though?
Does it have to be? Is it always?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not defining what it is. I think the beauty of what's happening now with the pivot between the IGTVs, the IG itself, the short videos on Twitter or the short videos on Instagram, where I'm really blurring the lines of what is it really? If it's a podcast for you, great. If it's a video show for you, great. If it's a streaming platform for you, great. I'm not defining it for you, right? Because the way you're going to consume the content, I don't get to dictate that for you. What I can do is have the distribution platform with the content on there. So when you decide to go there, we're there. So you're absolutely right. I'm not disagreeing with you. Primarily, the show has always been podcast heavy. It's always been audio heavy. But I can slice the audio however I want to slice it from a video conversation in somebody's apartment because they wanted to talk games or they wanted to disagree with me with something I said. And you're seeing the nuances in the conversation on the video because I'm in their, domain having a conversation where previously it would only be tied to audio only, and you don't get to see the reactions that we're having even right now, right? So I think that, I'm accepting the fact that I'm not going to put me in a position to dictate how the people are going to consume the information, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. But going through about whether video, however, if people are concerned if the video is recorded on, your phone, which is yours is the S9, or a DSLR, I think that just depends on the audience because like I was going back to like our audio is like going to be our number one thing that we're going to focus on because that's what it started off as. And now you're blurring the lines and you're introducing video to it. That's kind of a new, not kind of, it is a new concept to be working on video quality. And I think that has to all do with the audience that's consuming it. If they're just used to seeing video and video content, they're going to expect and hope and want to see like this really crisp, clear 1080p or 4K video capture. And they'll instantly tell if did you use a DSLR? Did you use a really nice 4K camera or did you use your phone?
Fair enough.
Kind of really depends.
Okay, so let's work with that a little bit. This is for me. I don't know. I guess anybody in the chat, please chime in. There's been videos that I've watched on YouTube And okay, so I'm coming in with a lot of preconceived and a lot of biases.
And
Okay,
hi, Rav.
because what's going on, Rob? So sometimes on YouTube, if I can hear the audio clear enough, the video quality doesn't matter as much. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying it doesn't matter as much. As long as I still get the context of what I'm watching and listening to, that's cool. And going back to your point, there's some individuals who love who their audio and video files. I don't know if that's a term that people still use, right? So crisp 4K is a thing for them, and then the audio has to be 320 or more in terms of the bit rate and all that stuff, and that's fine. But there's a perfect balance between the two, right? Because we don't do we barely do 64K model now for the audio people that are listening to that right now, and we don't do 128, we don't do 96. We do a blend of the frequencies and the audio, and we export that to make that the MP3. And in this video, I'm not sure which bit rate Danielle is doing. I'm going to assume it's 720 or maybe 1080. I don't know.
1080.
It's 1080. Okay, so I'm not necessarily focused on the numbers. The content I'm coming for is good enough, right? And then the audio podcast may go up tonight, depending on how much I have to edit. And I don't think we edit much anyway as it relates to conversations, because I don't want to dehumanize, some of the things that we're saying and even the breaths that we take in a conversation. So outside of that, so the point is there's a pocket for all the things. There's a pocket for what you're saying, definitely, and there's a pocket for the other thing too, if that's fair.
That is fair.
Prioritize your equipment by what your content is. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so I have great sounding microphones and I have a great phone, and I'm maximizing now, whether I'm doing the audio portion of it or the video portion of it. Now we're doing the IGTV stuff. My phone can Daniela's phone can fully handle IGTV. My S6 can fully handle IGTV, because the only thing that you need to make sure that you're doing on that is vertical, right? If the vertical is good and you have a lavalier plugged into your phone, your S6, S7, whatever you have, that consumption of that particular content, if I'm talking about the thing I'm experiencing with my car on Daniela's phone, or the video content that we recorded at E3 before we left K-Town, which was on Daniela's phone, that was fine. The audio from that was great. You see what I'm saying? So as you're saying, prioritize your equipment for what your content is. I think both of the equipment that we have is perfectly fine for what we're putting out. The question is, you can have the best equipment, but if you ain't putting out nothing, then
What's the
what?
point? It's true.
Right? So I'm sure we know a lot of people who have awesome stuff, but they're getting ready to since 2-3 years ago, and they still haven't done their first whatever. PS4 streaming is perfectly fine. Everybody pretty much have access to that, but how many people are not using that? So it depends on how you look at it, right? At the end of the day, it really depends on how you look at it. So you can have the best rig, but you're not doing anything with it. But somebody who can't afford a rig, they're still streaming with a PS4 or an Xbox and stuff like that every, other day. Then who's winning? At the time. Who's winning at the time, right? Because the rig person can turn around and be like, you know what? Now it's time to get up off of it and then get on. How did this get to be like a motivational thing? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. This is what's good about our organic conversations here.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, so that's that. So CE Week 2018 was dope. PepCon 2018 was dope. The Ceremonic audio rig stuff, the XLR splitter stuff, that's going to be in the show notes. Antline Audio. Any thoughts before I move on to Antline?
No, I want to hear about it.
Okay, so Antline Audio, they make a Mic 5. I did a little IG TV video on that. The link on that is going to be in the show notes. Pretty much this mic has an adhesive thing that attaches to whatever headset that you're using at the time. Right now, I'm currently using the LS40 by Lucid Sound. Great headset. Love their stuff. So I plugged in the Mod Mic 5 to that, and it is a Discord ready microphone as well, and it sounds amazing. Okay, according to what I was saying in the video, if I remember correctly, contextualizing some of the things I was saying, it's not too heavy on bass. The mids are good, and you hear the person clear based on the individuals who were listening to me when I was talking to them. I said, "How does this sound?" I was like, "It sounds pretty clear. It sounds a little bit different than what you had before, but the difference is really good." So this mic is designed for any type of setup that allows you to plug in an external mic, like Lucid Sound. You can take off their mic and then put in, your own. And that is the design of that particular Mod Mic 5. And definitely check it out. The links will be in the show notes for that. They also make, and we'll come back to Mod Mic 5 real quick. I definitely want to share a couple of other things. The USB audio driver that they make, which is very small. It has a input for the mic and the headphone jack, which is great. I'm using that now instead of the Astro box that I usually use, for external audio stuff. And then last but not least, they also let me check out their XLR to 3.5 millimeter jack, which is what I use to record the IGTV conversation as it related to the Mod Mic 5 video that I put up. So any thoughts on the Mod Mic 5?
A couple things. So the mic that you were using for the Instagram TV actually sounded really, really great. That came out awesome.
Word.
I'm trying to figure out and wrap my head around. So you can attach it, like it has an adhesive that you can attach to a headset.
Right.
Is it a very common thing, and this is a very dumb question for me to be asking, I feel, but is it a very common thing that headsets don't have a mic attached to them? Like I'm trying to think of a circumstance in which I would have a headset and I'm like, hey, I wish my headset had a mic. I mean, I'm thinking of a gaming perspective on top of this.
Okay. So not common for us, right? Based on what we experienced. This particular one, okay, so it's on now and it looks like it was built into it, right? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah,
clear?
I can see it.
Okay. So this piece here on it is magnetic, right?
Okay.
Comes off after the adhesive. So I adjusted down like that with the magnet piece on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lucid Sound has the removable one, so it was easy for me to put this on by removing the 3.5 thing. The adhesive is the only thing I was really concerned about is what is that going to look like if I'm going to take it off of the thing? Because once you put the adhesive on, that thing is on there, right? Now, but to answer your question, it's rare for us to get a headset that does not have a mic with it, right? I'm thinking. But if we can get one that doesn't and still allow you to put in a mic with it, I would consider doing the Mod Mic 5. So I'm thinking about all the microphones that we have typically, the Astro A40s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comes with a mic. 20 comes with a mic. 10 comes with a mic. 50 comes with a mic that you cannot remove. The 40 would work.
The 40 would work.
Right?
The A10s, the A20s, those don't come off. I'm
Right.
looking at the A50s right now. They don't come off?
A50s doesn't come off. No.
Oh, I thought they did. They go over there.
The Rig 800, I don't think comes off. The new rig that has the new rig that's out by Plantronics, you can attach it to this one because the other mic comes off. You have to really pull on it for it to come off, but it is a removable one to this basic rig headset, it sounds pretty good too. So you could put it on something like that. The headpiece comes off, if I remember correctly, on this thing. So this comes off of it like that, of the headset. So the angling on the mic on a mod mic on this one will be a little bit different because where would you put the adhesive? Would you put the adhesive at the bottom here or would you put it closer up here? So you also have to decide where you're going to put the adhesive before you attach the mic for the thing. But ever since I put it on, I never looked back. And I'm not trying to sell you this mic because
I'm just trying to find
I really like it.
circumstances in which,
No,
you
I'm
know,
just, I
average
didn't, that statement
Joe
was
kind of.
generally speaking. That statement was generally speaking. Like, I'm not trying to sell you this mic. This mic really is dope. And I haven't looked back. But in our case, it's hard to make a case for us because most of the headphones that we get come with a removable or a mic that's already built into the thing. Now,
Because there's only one headset that I wish that the mic was better, and it's more for like headsets that are made for Bluetooth for phones, not necessarily for gaming.
right,
Because it totally escapes me the last wireless headset that I got. It's not, I don't have it around me. That one I used for just general, just working out, doing work in my yard. But it
right,
is made to be used on your phone or
right,
your mobile device. The mic on it, it's okay. It could be better. But I think having a device, but there's, I don't think you can attach anything, an external mic to it. See, I think
hmm,
those circumstances would have been great, or even have like the attachable mic somehow be attached to that. I'm not too sure.
right, right,
I
right.
can picture it for those circumstances. I would love to have a detachable mic that can be attached to those types of headsets.
Yeah, it sounds really really dope. I'm really impressed that I'm okay. So it's rare, and I'll even say this, just being a little bit more self-aware than I've been lately, that I talk about a particular product that much online because we talked about it on the IGTV. We talked about it in this episode. We talked about it even on Twitter. And I think that that's a great testament to how good the thing is. And sounds really good. I'm going to keep them on the LS 40 that I'm rocking now.
Hmm.
And I'm looking forward to the next LS 41 if they're going to send that out or anything like that. That'd be amazing. Now, going from that to the next headset, if I can just do the interchanging thing, what's the adhesive going to be like coming off? That's my only concern because that thing is on there. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what that's
Do
going to
they
look
have
like.
like additional sets just in case you can just buy just that glue and that magnetic part? Because obviously the mic detachable, the plug detachable. Do they sell or have any availabilities to just sell just the glue and the other half of the magnet?
That we'll have to look on the website. I'm not sure.
So, because I'd say just leave it on there, then it'll be better. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't have that available. I didn't go and look, but if they don't, they should consider it. Because
Yeah,
who's gonna buy several? Like, I mean, one is great, and it'd be obviously from a marketing standpoint, it'd be great if somebody bought five for each of their different headsets inside their single household. But you know, not everybody's just rolling and doling.
right,
So
exactly.
it would make sense to make it the ease of use of like, here, you can buy this set and it's just this magnet, just the glue part to attach, and you can use the same mic on all of your
Hold on one
headsets.
second.
Okay. He's gonna up and walk away from me.
Just trying to get the box real quick. Okay. Dual microphone flexibility attaches magnetic clasp, compatible with all headphones. And I think there's two adjustments on it. I'm looking for. Okay, so the reason why the adhesive is so tight because it's 3M adhesives, and they make strong stuff. They're pretty ridiculous, 3M, in a good way. So that thing is going to be on there for a long time. So what's in the box? One mic 5 modular set, the mute switch module, 1mm and 2mm cables, each with 3.5mm jack, durable carrying case, two base clasps, one top clasp with cap, one foam pop filter, 2mm cable wrap with 10 cable clips, extra 3M adhesive, instruction manual. And there's two settings on on the mic as well that you can switch on and off depending on the sound that you want to come out of that. So you choose that as well. So yeah, it's been really neat playing around with that. I really dig it.
Cool. Alrighty.
Word. What do you got going on over there? Appreciate you guys hanging in the chats. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Episode 455. What you got going on, Danielle?
Nothing. You know, that was just our tech part. We've been at this for an hour now. We're like, what? They're like, we're gonna be late. Every time he says it, it's gonna be a late show.
Well, see,
it's never a late show.
It's because you bring this thing, you know,
the questions.
Vibe. Yeah, that we just have to dig into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just have to dig into it. So that's what's going on with that. Entertainment news, we know that it's been announced already. Amazon Prime Day was leaked. That's going to be July 16th. A survey of 2,500 U.S. adults has revealed that Netflix is the #1 TV viewing option. Any comments on those things?
Was it any discussion or any debate that Netflix wouldn't be on there?
I don't know. Like, by now, you should know that nobody's watching as much TV as they used to. That's just how it is right now.
I mean, yeah, we obviously are, just not cable TV. That's the thing. That's the box.
Right.
That we're not watching cable TV nearly as much, and right. I'm not upset about it.
Right. Were you surprised about Netflix doing away with the user reviews?
Okay, so I read that and I was actually surprised that there was actual reviews that you could type. I did not know that existed. Like, I knew that they had that 5-star rating. I know they had the thumbs up and the thumbs down. I didn't know you could actually legitimately write reviews. And I have been a Netflix customer for like 8, 9, 10 years. Somewhere for almost a decade. I want to say almost a decade here. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know they had stars at one point, right?
Yeah, they had stars at one point before the thumbs up and thumbs down, and I didn't really care for it so much. I mean, I kind of use the star system and that rating system. Yeah, having to write a review, didn't know that was a thing. Elmo says Apple and Nintendo would like to do it like that to make money. They don't want you to fix things. What is this in regards to?
Yeah.
But,
please elaborate.
Yeah, I didn't know just writing reviews on there was ever a thing.
I didn't know either.
I did. I was shocked when I read that. I'm like, well, now I know why you're doing away with it, because people like me who's been using the service for so long has no idea it exists. And they said like it's only on, the website. Well, first of all, that's the problem. It's only on your website. Right. Not that I don't think you would even if you had it on your Fire TV or on any of your consoles, I don't think you would want to take the time to write it out that way. Netflix's only goal left is to stop us from sleeping. I don't sleep. I don't sleep at all.
That's right.
But even watching it, because when I'm working late at night, I do have Netflix up. I have something going on because I like that noise. I need that noise to be able to work. I still didn't even notice it was there. Yeah, it's like, as much as I like silence, when I'm working, I am non-functional when I actually want to get work done. When I want to do nothing and relax, silence is perfect. I love it. If I want to get work done, I need something, whether it be music, whether it be a show or a stream, or just even somebody talking to me, and all I have to do is be like, yeah, okay, that's great. I need that. Still, again, did not know that reviews on Netflix was a thing.
Yeah, I had no clue.
I always watch Netflix when I'm going to sleep and watch 1 or 2 series.
Series? Like what, 23 episode stuff or 13 episode stuff?
Like a whole series?
Like a whole joint? Before bed?
Because I've been watching some No, not watch them all.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm like,
So,
yo,
like,
that's legit.
but I don't know. I thought it was just interesting just to have that. The separate parts from Mike, you said you would not sell the individual glue and magnet. Oh, okay. That's what his comments
Mm,
had to do with that. What Nintendo would like to do. Like to do that to make money. They don't want you to fix things. So the whole thing
mm,
of just buy multiple of our mic rather than making your life easier. That's what
right.
his comments are. Thank you for the clear up, Elmo. And hi.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out for sure. I really do appreciate that. A couple other things in entertainment news. Luke Cage going through that season 2.
A whole series?
So far so good. Not no working through it slowly. And Jessica Jones, I'm just thinking about it. I didn't finish the last season. I don't know what happened. I don't know, somewhere I lost interest or food came up and I had to go eat and then I never went back to it. Whatever. Sicario, the first one I'm watching right now. And I know 2 is out and 2 is doing great. The first one is amazing thus far based on what I'm watching. And that's pretty cool. So I'm enjoying that. Any comments on Luke Cage, any Marvel stuff, or Jessica Jones, Sicario?
I have reached a weird standpoint in the things that I'm watching. I will go through phases where I'm like, I'm going to watch all the Marvel things. Oh, I'm going to watch all this. I'm going to watch all this. And I get into like, I want to watch all of a specific genre kind of thing. Lately,
Right.
I felt like I burnt myself out. So I'm watching the really bizarre things that's on
Like,
Netflix. Like really weird reality show things. Like there's
like
one that's
cult
called,
documentaries?
no, worse.
Okay.
Like they're far
Worse.
worse. They're worse than watching the Kardashians, okay? Because I don't. They're really cringy to watch. Like Nailed It. Nailed It is like this baking show of people who like try to recreate these really fantastic looking desserts, but theirs look really bad. It's terrible,
Mm,
but it's like so addicting to watch. See,
right.
Rav knows he loves Nailed It. Um, and then there's something else. It's like this BBC Netflix show called 100% Hotter. Um, that thing is very, very cringy to watch, but I've been enjoying it. I don't know where
What
I'm
is
in
that
this
about?
weird. Well, okay, so they take these people who are like really terrible fashion sense, who don't know how to dress themselves. They rate them. They have like the general public rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, and
Right.
then they get the average score, and so this beauty team like makes them prettier, and then their goal is to make them 100% harder than what it was compared to their previous score. And then regardless if these people like it, because some of them they'll look at it and they're like, I don't like this. I
Mm,
kind of want to cry, like, wow, I can't believe you kept that in this episode of this person that's not exactly happy. And then after they redo their makeover, um, obviously some of them actually liked it, but they have them scored all over again. And it's supposed to be 100% hotter. And then they're like, okay, here you go. And then they give a quick, you know, if they stuck with it or not.
mm,
It's super cringy. But yet here I am watching it. Um,
right.
yeah, I'm in a weird phase of what I'm watching on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
And I
it's
get that for after a while. And thanks,
so much
Ravi, for
stuff,
the
man.
follow. Luke
Thanks,
Cage,
Rob.
Craigasm, Hurry Up, Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger, isn't that available on Hulu right now? I want to say it was available or is available on Hulu.
That
At least
looks
I
like a
thought it
great show
was.
too. Cloak and Dagger. That was really good. There's so much good stuff to watch, but when you have a game that you're just playing and it's an RPG shooter and you're trying to break away from it, but there's just things that you must get in the game because it keeps pulling you back, especially in September is going to pull me back even more. I don't know. Just difficult spot right now.
It's okay.
It's all right. Gonna
Because
be
you're
all
going to
right.
take that 1 hour a week to step away. Take a
1 hour.
breather. Yeah, at
1
least one
hour.
hour a week.
I can give you that. I can give you 1 hour.
Okay.
So that's what's going on with that. Dwayne Johnson's Fast and Furious spinoff on Idris Elba to play the film's main villain. Thoughts?
There's enough Fast and the Furious in the world. We don't need a spin-off. Even with
What?
Idris Elba, okay?
Oh my
That's it.
gosh.
That's it. We don't need it.
Oh my gosh. So I put this in there as the trigger, not the one you just gave, but more so the fact that if you like weird shows, I don't think this is a weird show, but to me it was weird at first until I realized that I'm sick in my mind because I really enjoyed the show. Luther is actually coming back. I'm really excited about that. So if you guys in the chat, if you ever see Luther, please just shout out, say something. Don't leave me here by myself, please. Because Luther is probably one of the dopest crime drama shows that I've ever watched in a long time. So I have some things that just stick out, okay, when it comes to watching things. Like Claymore to me is one of the best animes that I've ever experienced as far as a story is concerned.
That was a good anime.
And as a benchmark, I don't know if there's anything else I can watch that's going to top that in my mind right now. I'm sure there's plenty of some other good stuff out there, but there's just certain things that are so good. And I'm like, who would not enjoy that? But I think I have a different level of crazy, and I'm admitting that to you guys, so don't tell anybody. So Luther's coming back, so I'm excited about that. I need another Claymore awesome anime. I know you were watching that Castlevania stuff. You really dug that, right? You said that was dope.
It is, and they're coming out with, I guess, more episodes in October.
Okay.
Oh, so far away.
So I need to know. I've been in the dark the last week and a half, 2 weeks, right? Doing the car stuff and trying to figure out what we're going to talk about in this particular episode, 455, and all that's been going on with PepCom and CE Week and all the stuff that we want to release this week, all that stuff. What the heck is TanaCon?
You're gonna ask me?
Yeah, I need to know if anybody knows what happened with that. I mean, I could definitely sit here and we can have like the bedtime story type format where I go onto the particular website and I read what TanaCon is. Okay, so from what I've heard,
oh man,
something happened where someone was organizing an event.
Well, I had to do it. It started off with VidCon.
Okay, so it was a branch off of that?
No. It was one YouTuber who, Tanan, whatever her name is. Okay, first of all, I stopped paying attention to all of YouTube. Well, not all of YouTube. Because before Twitch, I lived on YouTube and would follow different beauty gurus, different channels, different all sorts of things. Because there's some really great YouTubers that create amazing content. And they all have their own little dramas. It's really, really crazy how all these different communities, no matter what you're in, always has some crazy dramas. So VidCon is a convention that is tailored towards YouTube content creators, like TwitchCon.
Right.
Or any of those other cons that are out there. It's all about being able to meet this content creator that you love, that you watch, you support, and then these YouTubers turn into these celebrities that people just like, they're just as big as Cardi B or Kim Kardashian or whatever celebrity there is. But I guess there's some YouTube content creators don't like how VidCon is ran, and they've been doing this for like 9 years now. I would say that, they know what's happening. Apparently this content creator, Tanan, didn't like how she was treated and that she didn't get some special privileges and more security from her fans. I'm sorry. I do not understand that. I don't understand that from any content creator, period.
Okay.
Is that other than you making YouTube videos or playing video games online, you ain't a celebrity. I don't care how many people blow up your ego.
Okay.
Nothing makes you better than me or anybody else that watched.
Okay,
And
so I wanna unpack that a little bit. Okay, so
okay.
let's read Rav's comment, and I want to unpack what you just said about the celebrity thing. So
Oh.
can you read
Oh
Rav's
yeah,
comment for me?
yeah. She signed a contract with a venue that could only hold 1,000 people, but continued to go ahead and give out 5,000 tickets to her event. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm leading up into that, into this whole blowout of what TanaCon happened.
okay, keep
But
going.
VidCon 2017, she was upset about it. She didn't get her security because she felt like she had to be blocked away. I don't care. I mean, you're still a human being. You ain't doing anything special. This isn't just her. This is all content creators. All of them. I don't care what platform that you are on.
Okay.
But she felt she didn't get that privilege or whatever, that VidCon wasn't accommodating to her. So she decided, out of spite and of hate, to make TanaCon. And there was other content creators. You know, they had their own little things and issues with VidCon as well too, and their personal things that they're trying to work out. And even though they were going to VidCon, which TanaCon and VidCon, they're held at the same time. Like, she purposely held them during the same time, out of spite, out of anger. And she promised that her TanaCon would be so much better than VidCon, that they'll, like, fans will have more access to this. It'll be like a better venue. And she was working with this whole team behind her. And she went in knowing that she didn't know how to put on a convention, but she relied on everybody else
Mm-hmm.
to pick up her slack, which she knew nothing about. And so the venue that they chose, you know, it's more of a he said, she said, and this other third party said, and the hotel said that, hey, yeah, we can totally accommodate for this 5,000 people that you want to have there, that you can do this. And her team that's working said that, yeah, it would be fine. And she just kind of just accepted everybody's word rather than doing full research herself, because she's just off partying, off going on vacations, going to Hawaii, coming wherever it is.
Mm.
So just that, and knowing that, you know that the convention isn't going to be very good, because if you're throwing one, you should be working your ass off every single day, making sure every single thing is checked off and double checked and triple checked. No, she said she walked through it like one time. She asked them, they said it was going to be a fine, 5,000 people, blah, blah, blah. It didn't accommodate for 5,000 people. Then there's like fire marshals, there's police officers, there's all these other things um, happening that the rest of her team said it was fine, and she wasn't getting a whole picture, and it just turned into pointing fingers towards everybody else. But then she, in the end, she did ultimately say, like, you know what, I screwed up. I didn't know what I was doing. These people who thought, you know, who said they were going to be on my team and putting this together lied to me on a lot of things. She's like, I didn't make any money from it. I was putting all the money I made went into this, and all these other fans. It was just horribly coordinated. And she did not verify herself. She was going off of words of other people that she tasked to do this. I mean, even if you have a team helping you, you should still be the number one person, if this is your convention that you're putting on, to still go in there and verify 100% that what you want is going to happen. She didn't. And she, like, upset a whole lot of people. She knows. And she didn't say that she wasn't at fault. She knows she's at fault. She knows a lot of people hate it. She knows that it went off poor because she wasn't as on it as she should have been. And she accepted that she doesn't know what she was doing.
Mm.
And she's disappointed that she hurt so many people. But a quote from one of her videos, let's invite them anyways. Like, they like being oppressed like that.
Hmm.
You have to watch the video she did with Shane Dawson.
Let's invite them anyways. They like being oppressed like that. That's interesting. That whole thing was interesting to me when I was reading the news. Okay, so how much more you got from this? You got more?
It was just a mess. I think it's dumb. I think if you're gonna put on a convention and you're gonna take on somebody who's been doing it for 9 years, and you want to upset people, you don't know anything to do about it, you
Okay.
just don't. Or actual hire people. Like, these people are all young. I'm going to try to take the good within the bad. Is these are all very young people. They're in their 20s. They're very ambitious. And it even if her work was there's a 42 minute, yeah, I seen the video where she said that with Shayna. Um there's an interview that he did with her after the fact. But even though it was really poorly executed, it's nice. Uh, it's nice to see that they wanted to do something, that they pushed for it. They had the ambition to make that happen, which I feel, even though I might not, like the generation that comes right after me here, it's nice to see young people like that in their 20s pushing for something, and they're going to make mistakes, and unfortunately this was a very, 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 very huge mistake, but in this process this entire group of 20 somethings learned something from it: who to trust, how to better network, how to better organize things, and what they should do. And best of y'all, when to open their big mouth.
Mm.
So
I feel like it was a stunt to create drama to make more money, and it worked. I mean, marketing,
there's no such thing as bad marketing.
good, bad, or ugly is marketing. And you're probably right, Rob. It worked. Getting a lot of attention.
A 3-part
lot of
docu
talk.
by Shane. That is. There's a really huge thing by Shane Dawson.
So I have a question.
What's up?
I want to hear your thoughts on this question. So how are we defining celebrity today? How? So let me just add to that a little bit. A few years ago, I'll say a few years ago, I would say maybe a generation ago, maybe 10 years ago, depending on how you want to look at it, celebrity was defined as the mysterious, the people you didn't necessarily hear from. You barely saw on images. You only saw them at particular things, and they were maybe a year and a half apart, whether that was a movie or a sitcom or whatever the case might be, right? It was very that kind of vibe as it relates to celebrity. Now we've seen a wave of and quote unquote celebrities that work those rules to their favor, monetary as well, and their gifts and talents in a particular industry to be quote unquote called a celebrity, whether they were actors, singers, etc., for that time. Now the new celebrity is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear how you're defining celebrity today.
How I personally, okay, well, so basically, what is the basic definition of celebrity? A famous person. And
Okay, so we can do
in
basic.
a very basic general thing is that the basic definition of a celebrity is somebody that's well known or is famous.
Okay.
Famous for what? It doesn't define what they're famous for or what they're known for. But that's
Okay.
basically what a celebrity is. What
Okay.
I define as a celebrity or as famous is, and this is I think that like that term and how you categorize somebody is going to be very different for everyone. That
Fair enough.
regardless is going to be different for everybody. But what I would classify as a celebrity is someone who has a craft, something that's kind of unique to them, that they capitalized on and they're known for. And I also take
Okay.
someone as being famous or a celebrity of taking what their qualities are, what they that power that they have, and
Okay.
doing some sort of good for it. That is a celebrity to me. That is somebody that I will fangirl over. Is if you can take your status and what you're known for and people, that power that you hold, and create good from it.
Okay. So you're adding elements to it that are not necessarily inherent for the definition of a celebrity. Is that fair?
Yes, that's what's my
Okay,
definition
okay.
for me.
Okay, so that's your definition for you. Is it okay? So let's see how we can work that out a little bit. So should we look at the individuals who are well known because of social media any different than the actors and singers who worked on their craft before social media? Should we look at them any different according to the
Yeah.
definition?
Yeah.
According to definition. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the definition one more time because I'm looking at it right now. The state of being well known. Okay. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. So if you break through on Instagram and everybody knows who you are because you broke through on Instagram, is that any different than Tony Danza or Emily Blunt or Will Smith? Because remember how I started the conversation? There was a time where the celebrity was looked at this way. And then the new wave now is you need to be constantly in front of people, which is why the whole revamping of Smith took place. Although he had the celebrity already up here in his mind, it was just a different platform that allowed him to break through. So does it really matter how the how you're well known, what platform you're on, whether it's a sitcom or the IGTV or the YouTube or the thing?
How many people don't know who Will Smith is?
Well, going back to how I used that example, because he went from knowing how celebrity status was looked at the way he came up, right, into the sitcom, to the shows, to the music and stuff like that, without the social platforms that we have today, to realizing that in order for me to continue to be relevant, I need to adopt all the things that I already know I have as gifts and use that with the new platforms that are out, because the new quote unquote how celebrities looked at today, not that it changes the definition, it just changes the whole consumption of it, is the IGs and doing content that is memorable, doing content that is evergreen, which he didn't have in his dossier or quote unquote, let's just use armory for lack of a better term right now. So is it, should we look at him any different now?
No.
Because he's a perfect example of doing it the way we looked at it then and doing it the way we're looking at it now. And now they're blending because you're getting singers breaking through from the YouTubes to the actual singing and the Broadway to the actual record deals to the streaming platform, Spotify, to the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No, I don't think you should look at Will Smith any differently. And you can be an Instagram model. Sure, I really don't care about the 17 million people that are following you because they probably don't really care what your name is. You have 17 million followers because you're posting half-naked pictures of yourself. What's
Okay.
the difference between that
So,
person and the person who's actually modeling and working and going to on runways, who has really rigorous probably training and a dietitian and all these other things to maintain their career? Like, you're just an Instagram model. That is one platform. You go anywhere else, nobody cares. Will Smith is
okay.
an actor. He's done so many other things. And if it's not even him, like Keanu Reeves, how many people know Keanu Reeves? And that man has almost no social media presence. But yet he starts up and he purposely has like nonprofit organizations and charities for cancer research for women and for families and for children in hospitals that he doesn't have his name attached for, yet we know he does it.
Okay.
A-list YouTube stars are like C, D-list movie stars. Yeah, I'd agree to some level of that one. Nobody really cares about those C or D movie stars. Like, it's it's insane. And for those YouTubers and stuff like that, or the way that I see it, um,
Right.
I see there's this one YouTuber and Instagrammer that goes by Nikita Dragon that I like to follow. Um, she has like I think Morphe lipsticks that are in several different things, and makeup brands like to collaborate with beauty YouTubers because it's great marketing for them because they have such a good influence and it's like a much easier marketing tactic for them. You know, they get to meet up with Kim Kardashian to do these little parties and all these things. I can probably tell you Kim Kardashian just like, well, thanks for marketing my brand and my stuff, but it's not like you're gonna get like a family invite to Christmas. You're not gonna be in our Christmas picture. So it's things like that. But you can go to another beauty YouTube guru that I've been following for probably 11 years now, I think. Candy Johnson. Candy Johnson, I would classify her as that she's kind of making a really good transition into being what I would consider a celebrity, is the fact that she works incredibly hard on her craft, not just her YouTube content, but it also even behind the scenes. And she's a great mother, and she works with these different brands and these different celebrities like Kat Von D. And like Kat Von D has in circumstances like this is my friend, this is somebody who I work with, this is more than just a business venture. But she also is capable and she does tons of other things other than just that. She uses her status to bring positivity into the world. So to anybody that's just like they're like, oh my God, look at me, I really don't care. I really don't care. Majority of the world doesn't care. And unless you're going to continue doing that, you can't stay a celebrity off of that. And I think a true celebrity has the means and the ways of making and keeping themselves fairly relevant without having to go that sort of distance.
Mm.
So there it is. Nihilane says, another thing to keep in mind is the decentralization of YouTubers' stars' fan bases, whereas actors like Will Smith, etc., are more localized.
Mm.
So
I think it's definitely an interesting conversation. How celebrity, the word and celebrities are looked at today, whether they're using a particular platform or they built a platform, can't even speak, a platform before the ones that were so commonly, a part of now. The YouTubes, the Instagrams, the Snapchats, and all the different things that we're using. Marco Polos, if that's still a thing. So I just thought, so I think I got one more question in that whole thing. So if someone called you a celebrity, that.
no, I would never. If like I would never ever consider myself, even no matter how far we go, I go with anything that I do because there's a lot of venues that I do that eventually, hopefully if they go correctly, I could see my name being out there, obviously, but I would never ever classify myself as a celebrity because
No, but you're
even
not doing
even
the classification. They are. So if someone called
oh,
you,
I'm gonna correct them on that one.
no, you can't
It will
correct them.
no. Well, I would want them to never feel because the whole thing behind a celebrity too, just the word itself, is that people
Okay, so
automatically think that somebody who is labeled a celebrity is untouchable.
no, okay, so the definition simply states it is the state of being well known. So if it is the state of being well known and someone turns around and say, hey, look, it's Miss DJM. She's a celebrity. You can't correct them on that because of how you've classified the term.
No,
Because
but I can correct them on how they see me, though. Just me.
no, you can't.
I can if I talk to them
You
because
you
that's
can if you talk to them. Yes, I agree with that. But by definition, they're not saying anything that is wrong because if in their mind you're well known, then I don't know if that's going to change how you're perceived by them.
I think you can. And like Helen says, you can correct them on how you want to be seen. I no matter what I do and whatever my name is ever attached to, I never would ever. I think even being classified as a quote unquote celebrity, I would take that as a slap to the face. Only because, like I was saying, that when people have that mindset that someone is just famous and the celebrity that they can't be approached, that they can't be talked to, I don't ever want anybody to ever feel that way if they ever see me or ever like see my name somewhere. I want people to know that I am as easy to talk to as your barista at Starbucks that might misspell
That's
your name, except that
right.
I will probably butcher your name.
So
I'll never do it on
the
purpose.
the additional things that you added to the celebrity stuff is whether that's their insecurities or perception or what society has added to what celebrities should be looked at or not looked at as celebrities. But I don't think that changes the fact that you could be well known and still approachable. Okay, because in many cases, some individuals who are our peers, I'm not going to sit here and name names of who is or who isn't, they're considered, according to the definition, celebrities, and they're the most approachable people that I know today, based on the definition. So the additional things that we add to the definition, whether it's coming from the person, giving the quote unquote the label to the person that's celebrity or the person that is defending whether they're the celebrity or not, is things that we've already consumed and how the celebrity thing is labeled as, tainted as, and all those different things. That's why I wanted to bring the conversation to the table. So if I say, hey, look, it's Miss DJM, she's a celebrity. Yeah. Okay, so to person A is excited because they're meeting Miss DJM, who's a celebrity to them, because the state of being well-known is different for everybody. So person A, you're well-known. Person B be like, oh, word? What does she do? Well, she's been doing Twitch for so long. I'm always in her channel. I'm always on quote-unquote girl streamer. She just started, the Cosmic Bulletin. She's okay, so to that person amplified to them. You see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
You can't change that. You can attempt to, and you can say, well, yeah, I'm a normal person like you. I just spent some time on this particular thing, but I don't know if you could really change that without damaging it, because they could be a super fan.
They
So
can be a
now,
super fan, but Lil Lane says you want to avoid the pseudo-social class that comes with celebrity status. And I have to agree with that again, too. I think right now what bothers me is just the classification of the word. Just the word in general, just
I
celebrity
know,
and
I
famous, because that
know.
bothers me. Do I want to be well known? Yes. Do I want to be a celebrity? No. Because there's tons of people that are well known. And you know who I would classify as a celebrity that I would be like incredibly in shock to ever meet, and I will never be able to meet him because rest in peace, is Ralph Baer. Ralph Baer is the godfather of video games. He is a programmer who started the entire line of people wanting to develop entertainment based off of video games. That
Hmm.
is a huge thing. I would be speechless and I would love to meet him. But is he considered, well known? No, nobody really knows that name. Nobody really knows that he's the reason that video games exist to begin with. Everybody's going to
Okay,
think it's because
somebody
of
does.
Nintendo.
That's not,
Somebody does.
somebody does.
Somebody
Some
does.
people
But a
do.
celebrity is somebody who's well known. If only some people know that he exists, is he a celebrity? No. But he's famous. I would fangirl so hard over him.
Okay, so it goes back to what I was saying before. Person A is like, hey, look who that is. And person B be like, oh, word?
How am I defining well known?
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because the definition is plain. Because to one person, you could be, like amazing, right? And person B may be like, oh, what did they been doing? And then the person A has to tell, person B what's been going on with this well-known thing. So that's why I'm like, according to the definition, that's why I kept it very, very close to the definition. If it is the state of being well-known and that person is well-known to that person, then they're a celebrity.
I
So if,
classify, I put a celebrity as being something that's more than just outside of your genre. Like I would want to be well known within the target genre that I'm aiming for, which for me would be within the gaming industry, would be within that part. a celebrity to me, and then that point would be just entertainment in general.
Right. So
I
you
don't
know what I
care
find?
what.
No, you know what I find happening? Not here, not in this context of this conversation. I want to be clear before I say what I'm saying. I see this cause a lot of arguments like on social because
Yeah,
you'll hear somebody talking about somebody else and it'd be like, they're not a celebrity. And that's incorrect. Because if the person's well known, whether you want to believe they're well known or not, according to how you're framing it, then I've seen arguments blow up because of that. And I don't understand because that's why I pointed the question directly to you. If the person is saying that you're a celebrity, and I'm going to keep going back to that, you can't change that, even though you view the definition a particular way. So that's directly at you. You can't change that for them because if they've been watching Twitch for so long, the last 6.5 years, and you've been their world whenever you come on, whether you're doing your IRLs or your Let's Plays or community spotlights or whatever the case might be, and to them, you're well known, that fits the definition as a celebrity for them. That's all I'm saying.
well, for people who've been watching me from the very beginning for 6 or 7 years, they probably have my phone number, and I've met them. And I can tell you it's not like that. But okay, I can't, if somebody wants to call me a celebrity, that's up to them. But I can actually change their persona about how they approach me if they're thinking of me as a celebrity, that I am an approachable person. But if anybody else, I accept that people are going to call Instagram models and YouTubers a celebrity because it is, and that's to them. I don't have to accept it. I don't have to care about it. And I don't have to treat them as such.
Okay, so why do celebrities in your eyes have to be unapproachable?
They're not unapproachable.
Okay, but your wording is stating
Because some
that.
people assume that they are. I'm not saying that I do.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you for that clarification. So you're a celebrity that's approachable. That's a double whammy then to person A.
Yeah, I probably bought them food. They have my phone number. I got them drinks. And I probably offered my home to them too.
Word.
At one point or another,
Word.
I did. It's, people just automatically assume that. Nilane says, you can attempt to change the view of you, but celebrity is purely subjective. And so I would say that at most you would have them change their view of you. Personally, I respect, but not their view of you. Celebrity. Yeah, they're going to change it,
Yeah.
but it's just for me.
Word.
That was just for me. If somebody wants to view me as a celebrity, they can classify me as that, but I'm going to make sure that they don't have me in the same classification that they can't talk to me. It's kind of like, okay, so here's another word that I think is very, very interesting that
boy.
people treat almost in the same fashion that I've noticed. And it's not for
Okay.
everybody, but it's for the general. Developer. Developer is that when somebody, like, I guess for a lot of gamers, our celebrity for some people who would love video games is a developer. And I'm going to use Cliffy B.
Okay.
Cliffy B. Creates a lot of, he has a good history. Struggling right now, but
Okay.
he like people see him as a celebrity and they see stuff. I love the work that he does, and
Okay. So
they
wait,
have a
hold on
hard
one
time.
second.
They have a hard
Hold
time
on.
like,
Can I hold
okay, what's up?
wait. So he's a well-known developer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go
So
ahead.
they classify him as a celebrity, and for within our genre, within our our fandoms and everything, that it's very few people know who Cliffy B is. Maybe not the YouTuber fan over here might not know who he is because they're not playing video games, but within us they do know.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they always see them as something that's unapproachable when really all they really do is they write games.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak as that analysis. I can't speak to that as much as I can see people seeing developers in the same way as artists. And
Okay.
what type of artists? Because there's certain artists like music artists that people can approach. but they just see him. It's just like, oh, I can't talk to this developer. Like, why can't you? They like
Right.
they think that like because they created this game that they love so much that they can't talk to them. I'm like, you know what? XYZ developer wants to talk to their fans and their people about their game as much as you want to talk to them. Because they probably spent the last 5-6 years under an NDA, not able to talk about all this great heart that they made with the entire world, and finally they can. Of course they want to talk to people who play their game and love their stuff.
You know that, but person A who's fanboying or girl or whatever may not know what you just said as far as the NDAs, and they can't wait to talk about this stuff because they've been under, the rock for so long because they can't talk about the thing. They may have their own insecurities because I'm shy. They may say, I don't know what to say to them. They've been part of my world for the last 2 years and playing their world, their game, all the levels that they crafted. I'm excited about because I go through every single level. I've created a video for every single level they put out ever since the game came out. So you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like all like jittery, getting ready to talk to somebody who I've dreamed of having a conversation or even asking a question about what inspires you to create these maps that I play almost every night with my buddies on LAN parties.
This is a long conversation.
Absolutely.
Average Joe who thinks Hideo Kojima is a genius would approach him with the same timidity as a Renaissance citizen approaching Michelangelo. That's actually a really good, description of that.
Insane.
It really would. I would love to sit down with Hideo Kojima someday and just talk life with him. I would love to see the world through his eyes. Is he a celebrity? Yeah, he is, but I would, man, give me like 2-second like opening between his security guards. I'd go right up to him and talk to him, and I'm like, so, it's the last thing you watched on Netflix.
Yeah, right. And he watches, some of the most artistic things, and they do like top 5 lists of his movies and stuff like that. He's a very humble guy. I had a chance to take a picture with him. And I didn't know what to say because, dude, I was playing Metal Gear ever since I could remember, and you changed my whole life as it relates to game. What do you tell somebody that you've been playing their stuff for so long? What do you tell them? I don't know. I didn't know what to say. May I please have a picture? May I? And yeah, and thank you, and did the bowing thing respectfully before I left, that kind of a thing. It's, what do you do? So it's definitely an interesting conversation. So
but
yeah,
I'm just gonna say that I don't see any
ahead.
YouTubers or Instagrammers as celebrities. They can just go.
Fair enough.
That is it. This all started because of Tenacon, which should have never ever happened. It was a disaster. If you want to meet celebrities, just go to VidCon, okay? Let's go to VidCon. And you know what? There are some really awesome YouTubers that just do meet and greets when they go on travel. If you really want to like meet them, it is far better to just have a one-on-one. Like one of my favorite YouTubers, Chris Thompson. He travels quite a bit, and he'll say like, hey, I'm going to be out here. And sometimes he just travels because, well, I think his mom lives in Chicago. He's like, I'm going to be in Chicago. Anybody want to go out to the movies? And, he has a really great following, and people like show up, and that is a far better experience, and an awesome YouTuber that deserves that attention, deserves that sort of support because they put themselves out there to be like any average Joe. Because that's what they are.
Is he well known?
Yeah, I'd say he is. I've been following him since even before YouTube blew up. Let's put it that way.
So he's a celebrity.
No.
Okay. All right. Any final thoughts on the celebrity conversation, Daniela?
No. But the onus is the celebrity to make themselves approachable. They should. Everybody should. They really should. But,
fair enough.
This is like the second to last topic for our entertainment thing, too. And this thing went on for like 40 minutes.
I love it. What's up? But what?
Gosh, our last topic for entertainment. We still have the video game section, but our last topic for this is something that actually excites me and something that I'm considering of bringing to my own personal streams. Gundam Live is making an action movie. Finally,
Word.
finally, they are, and I'm so happy for it. I love Gundams. I love putting together Gundams, and I really am considering going to. I have several sets here to put together that I haven't been able to get around to, so I should make a creative stream and just work on my Gundams. So co-production, and the thing is, it's not just like it's official, like it's official, but it's not official like it's gonna give you a date. This thing's probably gonna come out in 2021 if I'm lucky. But it says that the co-production of the Gundam live-action movie has begun.
Word.
So
Were you
that's
expecting this to be announced or talked about in recent weeks?
in my recent lifetime, yes.
Okay.
I don't know about recent weeks, but you know, it was bound to happen to actually have a really good live action Gundam movie. Ah, I love mechs. When is Zone of the Enders coming out? I need to go play that game. But yeah.
Wait, I thought you had the demo and stuff.
No, I don't have the demo. I don't really play demos. If it's a game that I feel like I know I'm gonna like, I don't play the demo until I can actually play the whole thing. Like I didn't play the demo for Detroit Become Human because I didn't want to be spoiled. I wanted when like it released, I could have the whole game. I wanted a 100% pure experience with it, and I did, and I loved it.
You did. You were having a good time. You didn't want to leave.
No, I didn't. I didn't. And I said I don't want a demo, but I played a demo at E3 because I could not pass it up. I was going to not play it, but I saw it, and she's like, we have a spot open. Okay.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad you got a chance to play that, though, because I know you were excited about that.
And then, yeah, that's it. That's it for our entertainment segment. And then we have our video games.
Word. Before we get to that, this episode is brought to you by ProXPN. ProXPN is a free, easy-to-use VPN service that secures your internet connection against eavesdropping. Master location allows you to access your favorite websites no matter where you live or travel to. To get 20% off of your account, visit dshowradio.info/ProXPN and use the promo code SHORAM for 20% off the lifetime of your account. This episode is also brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron makes it easy and fun to eat food. Blue Apron provides you with all the ingredients that you need to make a delicious meal in exactly the right proportions. To get $30 off your first Blue Apron order, visit dshowradio.info/Blue Apron. Video game news. I think video game news, Daniela.
Yep.
Video game news. Then I think we're going to run through video game news, to be honest with you. What do you think? I don't think it's going to be as intense as the celebrity conversation.
Okay.
So starting from the top, we have Starhawk shuts down its online servers. I think that was done at the end of June. Valve Steam sales estimator shut down. And then Ubisoft's CEO Yves Guillemot says he believes that streaming games could allow for extreme growth in gaming. Any comments on those three things?
That's a really long time. I was surprised that Starhawk was even still going and for people to still be playing it. I was amazed by that. So that's actually a pretty good run in games. I don't have anything to directly say about the sales estimator, but I can say that I was really, really, really good, and I only bought 2 things from the Steam sale, and one of them was Uno.
Why did you buy anything?
Because it was on sale, and I wanted a card game, so I bought Uno. That was it.
Oh, it's interesting you say you bought Uno because I was in the closet earlier today and Uno cards.
You cut out there.
The Uno cards we found in our closet earlier today, and we're going to start playing again.
I would buy the actual cards, and my boyfriend asked me, why didn't we just buy the actual cards? And I'm like, look, if I buy 3 sets of these, it's still cheaper than the cards. And I bought it anyways. So I got that. But this last statement that believes that the streaming games could allow for extreme growth in gaming, I believe in 100%. Even though streaming has been around for 8, 9 years at least for video games. Obviously, it's picked up
Okay.
popularity over the last like last 3 or 4 years. I think it's a great marketing tool for companies. Especially like you'll see a whole lot more that there are partner streamers that are getting these sponsored streams. And basically studios are reaching out to them like, hey, our game is coming out, or we have a big push for this sale coming up, play our games
Right.
and market them, because they're tapping into those people's audience. And it's not like every person can afford to buy every single game, but it increases the likelihood of having that person buy your game if they see that their favorite streamer or YouTuber, Mixer, Facebook gamer, whatever it is, whatever platform is playing it, and I would say enjoying it, but I don't know. I don't know. They're
Right.
being sponsored for it. I'm always questionable about sponsor thing. I know how I would handle sponsor games. I'm always very, very honest about them, but doesn't mean that every single person who has a sponsored game or a sponsored stream is going to be 100% honest about it, because they also obviously don't want to say anything bad because they want to hopefully keep working with this company or whatever. And Helene says, on a semi-related note, streaming could be really huge for indie developers now that the scene is slowly becoming unreliable for them. 100% believe
Mm-hmm.
that too. That was the next point that I was going to be making. Um, interesting enough. Interesting enough. I'm not going to say who it was for. It is something that I'm still kind of debating because I thought it was really super out of the blue. I
Okay.
did receive an email. It was to my personal email. It wasn't sure for the show radio. It was for my personal stream email, which I find that interesting because I don't have that email out there
Okay.
like that. But I was emailed like, hey, we would love to, like, we've been following you. We would love for you to play our game. It's an indie title. Would you be interested in it? And if so, how much do you charge? And I was like,
Well, how much do you charge, Daniela?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like, are you sure you're watching my stuff? Me?
Uh-huh.
Did you type the email wrong? But
I doubt it.
it's interesting, and it is an indie title, so $1 million
$1 million.
dollars. It's very interesting because you have to think about it, and I thought about it when the way that I'm approaching it is the same way that when I was working at the tattoo parlor, is you're basically putting a price on your worth and your work. Like, how much are you worth? And when it comes to video games, I don't know. I don't know how to classify that. I don't have anybody that I could go to that has that sort of experience. Everybody that I know that has a sponsor stream or is paid to stream, they have another organization, another entity, a third party that manages that for them. And
Right.
it's a set contract, and it's always set for groups, and it's very rarely for individuals. So to have to answer that directly for myself is a very interesting thing that I don't know. Like, it's to the point of like, okay, this is intimidating. I'm just going to say no. But at the same time, I
You
don't
didn't
want to say
answer,
no.
did you?
No, I didn't. Not yet. Because I'm still
Okay.
thinking about that. I'm
So,
like, what do I classify what my worth is per hour to stream
okay.
your game? Even though I looked into the game, I did the research. I'm like, well, this seems really interesting and this game does seem fun. But
All right.
the streamer,
So
like, what do you say?
here's what I would suggest. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not well known in the streaming area like you are.
Neither
Is
am
that fair?
I. I'm not
No,
well
no, no.
known.
Is that fair? I think that's pretty fair.
That's not fair.
Okay.
That's not fair. Nihilane
Okay.
only
So you
knows me
don't.
because
Okay.
of something else.
So you don't have more followers than me on Twitch.
That doesn't mean anything.
Oh no, no. I'm just asking. Is that yes or no?
Yes, that's a yes.
Okay, fair enough. You have more concurrence than I do on Twitch, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then you have an active base already there that they're willing to tap into, that they feel that's valuable enough for them to even reach out to an email that you barely have out there, right? According to what you just said. All right. So there's some bread there. right? So so my point, I would suggest that if you can reach out to individuals that you know that are doing those type of sponsored streams and see if they're willing to give you information about that. There's a few you can reach out to. I got names you could reach out to that would probably give you that information because they're cool like that. So we can talk about that however you want to talk about that. But that's definitely a thing that you shouldn't say no to because that's potential revenue for you,
Mm-hmm.
like today. You know what I mean? Like, so I would, and I'll give you the names that I'm thinking about that I think would consider helping you that we know personally that we have a mutual with.
Okay. Well, another line
So
says, there was a recent talk at GDC where a small indie-focused publisher went over the average first-year earnings for indie games on Steam, only being between 30 and 40,000 US dollars, which for any dev team larger than one or two is just not a viable business model.
Interesting.
Hmm. Well, this is interesting. But what was the original question? Oh, right. Streaming. Streaming, extreme growth in gaming.
Streaming.
Yeah, I feel if studios and PR reaches out to streamers, yeah, Steam takes a big cut, too big of a cut, but they nearly have a monopoly. This is true too. But then
Hmm.
what do you think about things like Humble Bundle, where you have those games and we can decide how much or as a purchaser, as a buyer, you can decide how much it goes to developers, goes to charity, goes to, if there is a partner attached to it, how much goes to them as well too. Because they take a
Hmm.
really huge loss there, I feel. But getting games out there and advertising and reaching the right streamers, it helps. It really super does. And it's super beneficial, especially if they find somebody to partner with that loves their games, loves their products. So I think it works. I think it works. And then you have things like, it's funny. I feel bad because I always forget we're streaming on Mixer and I always bring up Twitch. But you have things like Twitch where if it's a PC game and stuff, and those games are available, Twitch has drops that are attached to it. You can like purchase the games directly from there to bring into your Twitch, the terrible Twitch app. And some of those proceeds also goes to the streamer.
Hmm. Okay.
It all is this type of thing. Most games in Humble are old enough. They are past their prime earning window. Okay.
Man, these chats are almost instantaneous. That's insane. As soon as it pops up, you're already reading it. I'm like, oh, okay.
I try to get to them. Okay, so
No,
that's
that's
my
no,
thoughts on it. That's my thoughts.
no, that's pretty cool. The fact that the latency is so good on this. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. So streaming stuff. I see the value there. I see how the indie community will benefit from it. I see how the packages that we have for the different platforms, where they're bundling games that we haven't seen in a long time to make it attractive to subscribe to the 9.99, whatever that model is for the Xbox thing or the PlayStation or the PS Now and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about that streaming, okay, as well as the one that you already talked about, which I'm not going to do a deep dive in because you already did a fantastic job with that. So I think they both have their place. Whether I will invest in that or not, that's a whole different thing. Thanks so much for following us. We really do appreciate it. Um, and so they both have their place. For me, I tend to be the collector in terms of getting the original disc if that's still available, downloading the game directly to the system and then just, working that way. I don't necessarily want to subscribe to the streaming thing if I don't have to, but that's just me. I'm a little old school when it comes to that. That's pretty much all I have there. That cool?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Google is working on gaming streaming service. still along the lines of what we're talking about. Assassin's Creed Liberation and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter now backwards compatible. Some of this is a little bit older because we haven't recorded for about a week and a half, it seems. Any thoughts on those things?
Google's gaming streaming service. So they want to take PlayStation and Xbox. I leave out Nintendo because Nintendo's the one. Okay, this is going to be a terrible analogy, but I think it fits. Okay. So Nintendo is like the cockroach.
Nintendo is like the cockroach.
That cockroach can go through a nuclear warfare, and guess who's going to live through all of that? The cockroach. The cockroach. So, no matter what happens in the gaming world, Nintendo will always be there, no matter what. So, like I said in the past, yeah, Nintendo does Nintendo things and ignores everything else and comes out fine. Exactly. 100%. So this is why I'm leaving out PlayStation or leaving Nintendo out of this equation, because basically that's going to be their Google's competitors. It's going to be PlayStation. Absolutely. It's going to be Xbox. I don't know how I feel about it. Because I really, really don't. I mean, one of these entities is going to morph into Skynet. Chance of it happening is going to be Google. And for all I know, it's just me being pretty much over-realistically paranoid is that Google's going to have this gaming streaming service. It's going to know our gaming habits. It knows everything about us based off of everything that we ever search off of, because I don't know anybody else using Bing or Ask for Jeeves. What do? You Google it.
Ask for Jeeves. Oh my goodness.
So Google's just going to know it all. This is just one thing. But I do know that Google has been trying to break into the gaming scene for what feels like forever. And they've been failing, obviously, because they haven't come up with something. Google lacks the first-party titles, but if it can cater to indies, that would be really interesting. Google may lack the first-party titles, but Google's wallet is not lacking. And if they really wanted first-party titles, they can just buy them. Absolutely. They can just buy the entire studio, because if Amazon did not swoop right in and buy Twitch, Google was in the process of doing it. And you know what? That's how it goes. And Google can pretty much... Who has bigger wallets than Amazon or Google right now? Which brand has more money than them right now? That could put over there.
Microsoft's on rebuild.
You think so?
They're rebuilding and they're refocusing at this stage in the game.
Google and Amazon, I think, are the top two. So if they got GitHub before Google.
Yeah, and Google's hurting because they got GitHub before Google. They wish they made that move. You're absolutely right about that.
So there's making moves, but really, even if it was because of the first party titles, it's not like Google couldn't buy. Who couldn't they buy? Ubisoft if they really wanted to.
So I may be wrong on this, so correct me if I'm wrong. I think before Microsoft started getting more welcoming to the open source stuff, if they never got to being so welcoming to the open source stuff, I don't think the GitHub stuff would have happened in terms of a purchase. Is because they saw how that was going to benefit them and all the things that they were doing and pushing all the stuff that they're doing in the cloud, that kind of thing, as well as the gaming entity, which I guess they're already considering another console after what we just got with the Xbox One X. So if they weren't considering how open source was really doing good things for them, I don't think GitHub would have never been a thing. But that's just my conclusion, all that.
There's a lot that can go into this whole Google thing. Google's net worth is more than Amazon and Microsoft combined. So they have the money, they have the backing, like just building up that platform. I think even their proposal for that is super, super vague. So anything can really go. I mean, who knows? They could just partner with the company that's bringing back the Atari VCS. Who knows? And maybe they'll be like, how about we just help you fund these? If we can work on building a platform together based off of Linux, you know,
What's going on,
it
player
can be
eight?
a hey there, playwright. Um, it's possible. I'm not too sure how to feel about it.
Mm.
Um, really? I mean, you can make all the jokes and make all the assumptions that you want. I still think any company with a big enough wallet is fully capable of creating a platform that could take on Microsoft and Sony.
All right. So you know what I'm excited about right now?
What?
There's a console that I saw during E3 called Polymega, and
Hmm.
it's this console that offers all the retro stuff into this nice dashboard collection thing. It's really really dope. So I think there's obviously a big market still for the retro consoles and the gaming platforms that we've grown up with, and a lot of them are making a comeback. Even some of the games that are being remastered. I think last year and the year before that was, I think, the last 2 years of the remasters. And then 2018 is kind of, dwindled down into not necessarily a groundbreaking year for releases that are coming to the market this holiday season. I think we could be, honest and fair about that as it relates to, the Battlefield, that's the next Battlefield, or the next Call of Duty, or, maybe the new breakout hit that we're going to really enjoy, depending on if that's your thing. As far as Spider-Man is thing, and then you have the Forsaken thing for Destiny coming out in September. It's not major surprises, or even Red Dead, and then early next year you have Division 2, which is March. And so some of the things are very, very, not overwhelmingly surprising, more of the same, newer engines, newer teams, newer babies, newer marriages, and all that stuff that happens in the whole world of as those games are being developed. But there's no groundbreaking thing that's happening in the space, right? I think there's a lot of feedback that's happening from the community based on mistakes that companies have made that they're trying to correct with their roadmaps. And there's groundbreaking indie titles that are building great roadmaps for games that we're seeing, I would say, remnants of, like the Zelda type games, or those kind of Metroidvania type games that are making a huge comeback and stuff like that. So there's those things that are happening in the space as it relates to the game. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited to see what Microsoft is going to do with GitHub. And hopefully it's not just something that they're going to park, and just whatever. And as you were saying before with the game streaming thing with Google, I mean, that money, they're printing it at this point, right? We can all agree with that. They're printing that money. So whatever they do is going to be, amazing. So you have that, unless they start killing off stuff that we enjoy. So they, hopefully Gmail is always going to be here and those other things. Then you have Amazon that are buying supermarkets along with the other things that they're buying. Okay, so all these different companies are dipping into things that we didn't think they would dip into, and they're becoming the big three or the big four of our generation. And they have touch. So some things are changing and some things are remaining the same, and I hope that it doesn't get so crazy where they're like bleeding the lines, right? To the point where we have to be locked in on a particular thing as it relates to those companies. But I like the fact that we have so many options, but they really come down to the main ones that we always talk about. As you mentioned, the cockroach, right? Then you mentioned PlayStation and Microsoft. Then we talked about the GitHubs. Then we talked about the Googles. Those companies are always going to talk about, even to the point where we start talking about more car stuff. If we decide to do that, then you have the Teslas and the other cars that are coming up with the technology stuff that we can't ignore, right? So all those things are making it interesting for the conversations that we're having right
I am never opposed to variety, and such as variety. Nihilane says the Twitch app has Amazon and Twitch backing, and it's been struggling to take off. To cater to that one, as much as I like variety, I will stick with Discord. And the Twitch app was originally known as the Curse app, and it was severely lacking. And as cool as it is to have everything so consolidated into one, which is what Twitch does, it's a mess. And I like having it separate. Like, yeah, it's kind of cool that I can, I guess, see who's streaming from the app itself, but I will always go towards using my browser for those things. They're definitely, I feel that the reason why they upped their Twitch Prime free games, I feel like such a blasphemous person talking about Twitch on Mixer. It's so weird. They're definitely upping how many free games we get a month now with Twitch Prime, and I think that's so that people will use their Twitch app a little bit more to have a reason. It's still really weird for me to have to hunt wherever my game may be. It'll be hard to break the gamer mentality of if it's not on Steam, I will not play it. See, that's the funny thing too, as I forget, even though I know I get those free games through Twitch Prime and I claim them and I'm like, okay, cool. I always forget I have it because it's not in my Steam library. I actually asked, I tweeted out that I think it'd be cool if there was an app that was created that I can tie all of my platforms into it and be like, hey, this is where I have games and on what, so that I will know. I'm like, oh, I have this game. I don't buy it. I don't double dip into a single game because I forget I owned it. Those kind of things. I am down for variety, except it's just I still find myself sticking to one thing, like Discord. I really, really love Discord, ridiculously.
Right, so here's a question for you, and also chat. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. What's your thought on IGTV, the vertical video stuff? I know we didn't really talk about it. It feels like we haven't talked in a while, so I definitely want to hear you like expand the thought a little bit on how you're feeling about vertical video and if you plan to use that to create any content on that platform or even YouTube.
YouTube eventually. I have stuff recorded for YouTube. I just need to edit them. Okay. But yeah, this definitely falls into having the variety. But there's sometimes where it's nice to have those options. It doesn't mean that you should have to dive into it. So with Instagram TV, I can see the benefits of it, but I don't know how to, or if I even should have a way of using it to my benefit. Because you can't treat Instagram TV like your stories. You can't. Those are two completely different things. And if you're going to treat Instagram TV as that, it shouldn't. Instagram TV is kind of like YouTube. You're creating these little series in there, and it should have that type of quality to it. What I do think is this might be more work on the creator's end of things. I don't like portrait. When I'm watching a video, I don't really necessarily like portrait. I really don't. Even if I'm looking at Instagram video, I love in my timeline having the landscape videos. Even though it looks smaller, there's something to me that's more visually appealing. So when it comes to Instagram TV, I feel like I should be given the option of like, which is this in landscape? Is this in portrait? What is it going to be in? And give people the option, hey, flip it this way to watch this content or something. I don't know, but I don't like it.
Okay. You don't like it. You don't like it.
It just now? Like it just bothers me. It's just when it comes to video content, it just bothers me to have to watch it in portrait.
Okay, so every time you're watching a video, you turn it like.
I think it breaks the ingrained Yui that this generation has known since birth. Ugh, you're probably right, isn't it, Nihilane? No, well, yeah, I do. Like when I watch stuff on Facebook, yes, I can watch a landscape video in portrait, and it's like takes only half of the screen. But I always flip it sideways. At least I'm giving the option to. I like options. I like variety. I like choices. I hate being forced into something. If
Okay,
I'm
that's
forced,
fair.
if I'm forced, I'm sorry, I don't care what Tanacon says. I don't like being oppressed.
Okay,
I don't like being oppressed and being forced to choose only portrait. No.
fair enough. That's fair.
But if it's like, but it's for content that's consumed that way. When I watch like Instagram stories or even videos on Snapchat, it doesn't bother me if it's in portrait because it's really short 10-second clips. They're not
Mm.
there for consumption on that level. It's just for like here's something quick. It's done.
Oh man.
There are resources. We design monitors and screens as widescreen and not tall screen. Yes. So
Right, but you're not
that's where I'm
walking
at.
around with your monitor though.
No, I'm walking around with my phone that gives me the option to be this way, this way. How I'm supposed to be consuming things. And you know what? It took me a while. Okay, so this completely segue story. I don't know why I want to tell it, but I kind of really super want to do. So back when we had only CRT monitors and it was only that the very first widescreen movie I ever watched on my CRT TV was The Last of the Mohicans.
Mm.
I hated it because I felt like I was missing so much of the movie because I was in that letterbox and it had the black bars. And I see
Right,
like,
right.
why would anybody
Those
want to
famous
watch this?
black bars.
This is so stupid. Why would you? I was like so angry about having to watch things like that. But then we got our very first widescreen TV and I'm like, oh my God, I never want to go back.
Mm.
I love this. Granted, I love playing older titles on a CRT TV. When it comes to watching movies, watching TV shows, watching YouTube content, watching like just that content on that level, I cannot. I really cannot. I can never picture watching that on a CRT or or in portrait. It has to be. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It has to be in landscape.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, monitors can swivel now. Elaine says it works in short bursts, but as long form content is most likely would cause some form of eye strain. I'm not sure if it's due to the Western reading style of left to right, but consuming content on a horizontal plane seems more natural and comfortable. It
Mm.
does. It may be different from cultures that read vertically. Hmm. That's
Mm.
actually a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's very interesting to
Good
even say
stuff.
that. That is.
Good stuff.
And maybe
Fair
it
enough.
is. I can see some truth behind that.
Your favorite game has some stuff coming out.
Oh, I'm done. This is the end of episode 455. Okay, go
Really?
ahead, go ahead.
Your
Go
favorite
ahead.
game. GTA is getting nightclub themed expansion. You have that. Xbox One update allows you to load games quicker or something like that and some other stuff. Yakuza Kiwami 2 demo. That's out, I believe now. Halo TV series. Any comments on those things?
Oh, you just threw all those things. So, I don't really care about GTA. Yay, you get a nightclub. Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
But okay, I gotta go and see what this Xbox One update is on loading games because I swear, playing Fortnite, I play on PC, but I play with friends who play on Xbox. I hate when they tell me that their game crashed and they have to like load it back up because
Hmm.
it's like this 5-minute endeavor. I'm like, did it load up yet? Did it load up yet? Are you in the game now? Like it gets to the point I'm like, I could have played a whole match already waiting for you.
Hmm.
And then I was like, it'd probably been faster for you to build a computer than it would have to take for your Xbox to load up Fortnite.
Oh, that's so mean. That's pretty mean.
But it's
I'm gonna put it in the
true.
show notes. Major.
But
I
it is
think he
true
has it
though.
on his thing.
Um, Halo TV series.
Word.
They talked about that a long, long time ago, right?
A long time ago.
I think the video thing that I have for it is from 2013. That
Mm-hmm.
was that was 5 years ago, and only now they're finally getting around to it. And I think that was with Steven Spielberg for the Halo TV series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why so long? Why is it taking them so long?
Time, people, teams. You know how it goes, Daniela. You know how it goes.
So considering, okay, so from 2013, Steven Spielberg says that he's going to be behind creating this Halo TV series. But now that they finally announced that it's going to be coming out, they're working on it. Is he still working on it? Is it still him?
Mm.
They blame Sony not allowing for cross-platform play. Elaine says they felt intimidated by the Rooster Teeth Halo series. That was a good Halo series, though. That was the only thing about Halo that I like super, super liked. But it took them long enough. And this is a really long time. Like, how many of them remember that there was a Halo TV series that was being made 5 years ago or considered being made 5 years ago?
Where I linked it in the show notes. Show notes is gonna go up as soon as the audio goes up, and then it's gonna go on the blog post later.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully by 2020. Let's go with that.
I'm excited. I'm excited about Halo stuff. I'm excited. I started playing a Halo 5 Guardians again, and that beautiful game, beautiful soundtrack, 60 frames per second, if I remember correctly. A solid game in terms of the multiplayer component of Halo, but they were the foundation of great console multiplayer experiences. I think that's fair. And ever since then, every game that came afterwards, you know, set a good standard and bar, especially if the game wanted to do well, especially for like PvP stuff. Um, the Bungies and the Call of Duties and of the world, their multiplayers were pretty on point too. So yeah, Halo has inspired many to do great stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
know, last story and the campaign stuff was okay, so they're trying to fix that with the next one. Um, and I think Bungie threw a wrench in their plans because of all that Destiny hype and grinding and multiplayer experiences and co-op stuff, and they ventured to do that in Halo 5, and it wasn't as well received as it was as they thought it would be. So you have that. But still beautiful game, beautiful soundtrack. There's still a lot of value there if you enjoy Halo. Red versus blue is awesome.
All right, so, oh, see, this is all you. This is
What's all me? What's all me?
all this
Oh,
Destiny
all
2.
that? Why you gotta highlight it like?
Oh,
Why you gotta?
oh.
Why you gotta highlight it like that though? That's not even right. I'm not gonna spend that much time on this.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I am a big fan of the Destiny series. Big fan. Big fan when I heard that they had the triple XP this weekend, which 7/7 was Bungie Day. Friday, they announced that they were doing the triple XP from what I remember. And then that allowed us to get that ghost shell that's been sitting at Lord Shaxx, which is the Crucible handler for Destiny 2 and probably Destiny 1 too. I don't remember at this point. Destiny 2 has been my world for a long time. So that allowed me to go into the Crucible, which is the PvP for those who don't play Destiny at all, and grind that to get enough to reset my rank, like prestige twice, basically, for you Call of Duty people. And that allowed me to get this ghost shell that gives you 4 unique abilities, whether that's getting tremendous content when you're doing strikes, which is the PvE stuff, or where you're doing the Crucible stuff, gaining consumables for the Crucible, and then it does something for the Titan world, and it does something for telemetry for all elementals. So it does all elementals. It does the strikes, consumables, potential reception of that. Then it does the crucible potentials, and it does the Titan stuff. So this ghost shell robot thing that follows you around gives you 4 unique abilities, and that exotic is the yellow, the awesome gear, right? So you have that. So I grind that, and I was able to get that. What else do we have here? Destiny 2 Guardians. That's the name for the Korean version of Destiny. Tess, which is the Eververse vendor for Destiny 2. They're going to change Tess to Yuna, if I remember correctly, according to the post, because I'm doing this by memory. So if I'm wrong, it is what it is. Yuna is going to be the person for the Destiny 2 Guardians for Korea. The games are going to be pretty much very much the same. I think it's going to have all the content as far as the DLCs are concerned. And I think that launches in September for our Korean brothers and sisters over there. Okay, so that's what's happening with that. What else? Talked about triple XP. Destiny 2 Moments of Triumph. Destiny 2 Moments of Triumph is happening right now. You can track that on the website, which is bungie.net. Still doing this all from memory, so if I get anything wrong, just don't stone me. So that is going to be on the website for now until later in July. Somewhere towards the end of July, they're going to have the ability for you to track that either on the app as well as the website. Right now, it's currently only on the website. So once you visit bungie.net, just navigate to the parts that allow you to check out the Triumph stuff. I think you get points, and then up until a certain accumulation of points, you can get the opportunity to probably get a t-shirt, that kind of a thing. That same vibe, if you've played Destiny before, that's happening again. Okay, so you have that. September is Forsaken. People are excited about that. I think the rank level is going to be up to 600 or something like that. That's crazy. I'm at 270 right now. Random facts, if you wanted to know that. Using a Warlock, if you wanted to know that. What else am I forgetting? Oh, okay, so the Destiny companion app is pretty dope. And here's what I mean, okay? Is that a spider on your mic? I don't know. Is that a spider on my mic?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. It could be.
We're friends now.
Right. So you have all the stuff that's happening with Destiny, and I was gonna mention. Okay, so I did mention the Warlock stuff. Destiny is pretty hot right now. For me, we talked about the Ghost stuff. We talked about Moments of Triumph. I think I'm missing something.
But on the truth though, that's not a spider shock mount, right?
No, it's just a standard mount. That's I don't know.
That's the only other spider that I can think of as far as mics. Is this the shock mounts from for the company Samson's? Samsung makes a spider shock. Yeah,
Samsung makes a spider.
Yeah, it makes a spider shock mount for mics.
Yeah, this one needs to be changed out because it's being held by Velcro because the clip broke, and I think there's a replacement for it. So I may have to replace this particular unit, but because it's the Velcro is doing a great job, it might not be changed for a long time. So
if it's broke, don't fix it. Just use Velcro.
Just use Velcro or 3M adhesive. That might help too.
Sorry. Go ahead with your.
No, that's all right. That's all right. It's all good. So the Destiny Companion app is amazing. If you have not used it, I strongly encourage you to use it because this is what I'm getting ready to share with you is something that's been there for a long time that I never used. So you have the feature where you can invite people to your fire team, right? On the app. You go to the app, you go to the fire team section. You can create a room within the app on your phone, or you can do it on the desktop. And then you say, hey, you can say something like Nightfall, comma, 370 plus, comma, bring void, okay, whatever. And then how many people you need? You need 2 people because you're the third, right? And you create that on your phone. And once
Mm-hmm.
you create that on your phone, and I know it sounds like, okay, well, you already knew that. Okay, so if you already knew that, I'm not talking to you. Okay, I'm talking to individuals who do not have a clan in this instance. They don't like to play with a lot of people because they can't find their friends because none of their friends are playing Destiny right now because they're the super Destiny fans still playing Destiny. That's who I'm talking to. Okay, so now they're in the app and then they create this room on their phone. Then the people pop up on their phone and then they send the invite through whatever console that they're using on their phone. And then the people pop up on their screen. Okay. That's revolutionary to me because when I'm looking for people to play Nightfall and nobody's around, who am I going to play with? I'm not in a clan per se. You know, we have the show radio stuff. That's great. But if they're not on, then who do I play with? So this can be done either on your phone or on the desktop. And I grind this particular Nightfall, which is called the Arms Dealer, this week before reset on Tuesday, like 8, 9, 10 times because I'm still trying to get all the weapons for Osiris, and I'm almost finished with Sagira's Ghost, which is another one of those exotic robot things that follow you around that has cool perks. So since I got the ghost from Lord Shaxx, my next ghost is Sagira's, and I already have the other two from Tess. So that would be 4 exotic ghosts that I will complete. I think that's set. Okay, so that has changed the way I play Destiny. So if I want a strike to be done, I can do the invite through my phone. If I want a Nightfall to be done, I could just do that through my phone, and that has revolutionized the way I played. I think that's everything I like to talk about for Destiny. That comic book thing is out. If you want to check that out, the backstories on that. Um, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I love using the keyboard with my PlayStation. Random facts. I think that's neat. Yeah, I think that's good. Any comments on that?
No.
Okay, nothing there. So that's all Destiny stuff. Skullgirls, second encore heading to Switch. Switch is getting everything, it seems like these days. Warframe heading to Switch. We talked about Warframe earlier. That's really fantastic, doing some awesome stuff. That whole team is doing great stuff. From what I understand, when they finished their Tenno Con thing that they were having, they took all their people and they raided the Guardian Con thing for them to, that was awesome. If that really happened, that's dope. If they did that, Far Cry 5 photo mode, that's a thing. Any comments on those things?
No, I mean, the Warframe thing I'm kind of interested in how the control schemes will work for the Switch.
Word.
But, oh, if the Switch can run it, great. Because I think
Mm.
the game looks absolutely beautiful on PC.
Word.
I love
Yeah, it's a pretty game. I it's surprisingly pretty to me. I don't even know what to do with that. I'm working through that. So yeah, that Far Cry photo mode, Moonlighter dev roadmap. Kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. Some of the games that are giving us that feeling of the games that we love growing up, the Zeldas and the Metroidvania type games. And Moonlighter is really special to me because it has a buying and selling component to it. And even though you can go to a dungeon and do the Zelda thing, the Zelda vibe, if you're in a particular area for too long, they send out a monster that's more powerful than you. And then when they send out this monster that's more powerful than you, you have to find your way to go to the next area or level 2 of that particular dungeon. Because if you try to fight the monster, you're going to lose. And I think that's intentional because they don't want you to just remain there roaming and grinding the same area and then going back out and selling the stuff. They want you to actually progress. So Moonlighter, Zelda type game over, I think what we call that, over the top, overhead, I don't know what you call that. Zelda
it.
like.
I know
It
what you're
has a
talking. I
Zelda
can't
feel.
remember what that's.
Yeah.
That's called.
Game is beautiful. Soundtrack is on Spotify. If you haven't checked it out yet, trying to give you as much information as I can remember. It's a must check out because they're giving a lot of content for free that's upcoming, and they have the roadmap for that. And that's going to be in the show notes as well. Moonlighter Dev Roadmap. Any comments on that?
No, I just want to read. Netherlands says, I love how much attention the Switch is getting after all the hate and uncertainty around third-party titles on it leading up to its launch.
Okay.
So the
So,
Switch is something that Andrew and I would love to get at some point. For me
word.
personally, though, not for him, I need I need a good amount of games that I want to play on it. And no, Zelda Breath of the Wild is not enough reason for me to buy it. It is one of the games, but I need at least 5 games for me to be like, yes, this is definitely something I want to add to my library here, my collection of consoles that I have everywhere.
Word.
Mario Party in October. See, the Mario Party demo that they did from E3, that was cool. The way that you can move the screens around and affect the map that way.
Right.
But I was not really impressed with like the last couple Mario parties, and I'm gonna be that
Mm.
hipster that says I love all the Mario parties from like
The hipster.
7 and back. I
Right.
wasn't really so impressed with the ones after it. So I can't say that's a really good enough reason for me to want to get the Switch. I'm also very, very burnt out still over Mario games, having Mario in any game.
Mm.
Um, I don't know what it is. Smash really isn't my thing. I have hopes for this one since it looks like a return to the form for Mario Party. You let me know how it is, but I still need 5 titles on there. Be like, yes, this is a good reason
Mm.
for me to own this thing, or a really great deal. One of those two. Like it has to be one of those great
Love that.
deals that it's like this is a great sale price. I can't pass it up. But Nintendo hardly has any sales, so there it is.
Word. Nintendo is in the beginning when they were talking about it, and I got a chance to do a little preview before they released that particular console. I didn't want to admit early that it was going to do well, but I kind of had this vibe that it was going to because of the way they sold the unit. They did a console for this market, and they did a handheld for that market, right? The other side
Mm-hmm.
of the world. And you can either dock it if you want, or you can take it with you. And I think that covering the both sides of the way we consume and how we navigate, whether, transportation or non-transportation wise, it fit both markets really well. And once the game started rolling out, it was just pretty much like they were printing money too. So, um, and I'm glad to see that they're doing what they got to do, because every awesome game that we know of today seems like it's making it to the Switch at some point.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
That's what we got with that. Nintendo Switch, Far Cry, we talked about. Moonlight, we talked about. Shenmue HD Collection, that's August 2018, so look for that. And also there's a demo out for Warframe, which is the last bit of news that we have on here. A Warframe Fortuna and Railjack demo. I think that was like a 30-plus minute demo. And I want to do the Silver Surfer thing on the Warframe at some point.
Do you want to do the Silver Surfer thing?
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Danielle?
Um, yeah, so I think I mentioned it earlier. I jumped onto Warframe this past week. I am seriously super enjoying it and loving it actually. And I guess I jumped on at the
Word.
right time because at TennoCon this past weekend, which I think is funny that it did fall onto Benji's day at the same time.
Word.
Um, they had a live stream. So if you watched at least 30 minutes, 30 consecutive minutes of their live stream and you had your Warframe account tied to your account, which again was Twitch, um, you got a free Warframe, which is the Ash Prime, I think it was. I haven't gotten it's funny. I'm a little bit butthurt about this one because I had it up, I had the stream up. Even though I had to run errands, I did have it up and I was logged in and everything else set up. I didn't get my Ash Prime suit yet. However, my boyfriend did. He got his last night. So I'm like,
Hmm.
why did you get it and I didn't get it? And apparently several people haven't gotten it yet, so I shouldn't be so upset. They're probably rolling it out, but I'm just saying, I'm like, man, I want it. So
Hmm.
I guess I jumped on at the right time to be getting this. Um, Yeah, the stuff that they showed was really, really cool. That hoverboard. So, I guess for the Fortuna, you're going to be exploring the landscape of Venus, which I think I just cleared out Venus. I think I'm on Mercury right now. Like again, I've only played this game twice so far, and I'm loving every second of it. But yeah, you gotta go and check out Venus and go and view the landscape there. You get that cool hoverboard that looks really super cool. And then there's this other part where you get this co-op ship and you guys get to board it and fight and attack, and the whole thing that they were showing was really cool. I
Really dope.
want it. I don't know how much I have to go through to get to that point, but I'm going to fight and grind out to get there. Like I wish I had this excitement like 4 or 5 years ago when I first tried it. I really didn't like it then. But like I signed in this morning just to check to see if the stuff in my foundry was done forging and being created. I got a new weapon. I got my first companion.
Look at you.
Oh. I was so excited. I was like, I got stuff. Like I made stuff. I made this. This is mine. And it was cool. And I know it's going to get to the point where it's going to be a little bit grindy to go get those materials and create it, but I think it's a very cool thing. I also learned that one of the best suits that you can get in the game is the same name as my son. I'm like, oh, look at that. Now I have to go and get that suit.
Nice.
I have to get it. There's like no reason. It's gonna be mine. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. I'm gonna keep playing it, keep grinding out. It's just a super chill game. It's just I feel like I don't have to super focus on it at times. Like I do for they have these certain events where you have to do these kind of horde wave after wave. But it's amazing how quickly time goes by, and it's super dangerous how quickly time
Mm,
goes by. Like what
mm,
our first stream playing it was like a 4 hour stream. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already been 4 hours. It really felt like maybe an hour has gone by, but we did so much, and it's just I feel like I don't have to worry about dying too much. Like I've died a couple times, but you can just chill out and shoot. It's a beautiful game. Now I want to go play it.
I like it. I like it a lot actually. It's really really pretty.
So it's yeah, the scenery is so bright and colorful and vibrant, and I love the details and being able to change, the color schemes for my Warframe and all the weapons. I like that type of customization. I'm not too sure if I would or if I would ever spend money in it,
Mm,
especially if I know I can go and just kind of grind out to get something to be made. I don't know if I will put money. I'll
mm,
probably put some money. Okay, let's say that. I will probably put some money in because it's always great to support, a game that you're enjoying. They deserve some
right.
kind of money. They got to make, if I wanted to keep going, obviously I got to go and feed into it. Now I won't be like spending like, here's $200 for some platinum. No, it's okay.
Mm.
So yeah, I love it. That's it. That's all I have to say about it.
No, it's definitely pretty good. So if you haven't checked out Warframe yet, if you want to, you should, because it's getting better with every single update that they're putting out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for episode 455. If you're listening to the audio right now, just the notes are already in the app. So just swipe according to your app and get the notes directly on your device. And that's all I have to say there. Daniela, please close this out. Thanks guys for checking us out as well.
Oh man, already? Our short show here. It's gonna be super late. Super light. All right. Thank you guys for tuning into the show and watching and joining Andrew and I for this. Thank you. And Helene for being in here. Raviolio, Full Metal. You guys are all awesome. Thank you again. You can definitely add our Alexa skill by saying, Alexa. You know what? You can also just like bring me over right now on your phone to your Alexa. Press the button. I'll do it for you. Alexa, enable the show radio podcast. Or you can visit us at theshowradio.info/ Alexa, and you can listen to us to there through your little smart home device. You can also hang out with us in our community on Discord. We do have one. You can visit theshowradio.info/Discord for our invite to our community. We're always in there. We post up information in between our shows throughout the week and updates of things that we are doing as well too. So definitely join us over there. If you have anything that you want to correct us on, any questions, anything that you have tips for us to make the show even better, go ahead and send us an email, community@theshowradio.info. And you can subscribe to us on your favorite podcatchers and never miss a show of ours by visiting theshowradio.info/listen. And you can also follow us here on Mixer. Give us a little follow. Regardless if we're online or offline, you'll be notified when we go live next. And that's mixer.com/theshowradio live. And for everything that we talked about, even things that didn't originally show up on our list, we're going to add it to it. You can see all of our show notes by visiting theshowradio.info. And until next time, you guys have a fantastic week. And thank you for joining us for episode 455. Bye, guys.